Wow. Yeah, I can see the. I actually really like the Betboom shirt, like the logo and the way. Like that is one of the dopest shirts I've seen for esports teams. I'm not too big on some of the designs, but this one is kind of old school. It's really fun.
Did you see the bathrobes that Effie and Jenkins were wearing yesterday as well? Like with the Betboom
I
stuff.
didn't actually.
Yeah, I think it was like in the final series. You know, obviously they were getting comfortable as well, seeing the day winding down, and they had these like the big black bathrobes on with like the Betboom logos on, and going around with those, and like we could have been sent those. We could. Well, no, it's way too warm to be sitting around in a bathrobe as big and fluffy as that looked. Like I'm melting now, and I'd just be like a puddle in my seat if I got sent one of those to wear. But you know, it seems like Betboom they have the merch figured out.
Yeah, they definitely do. Even the design of like all of the videos that we have here in the tournament, I think they did a really good job. And yeah, that's the shirt. I actually want to try and get one for myself. I'm not sure if they sell those in their store, but I'll look it up later. Because I think this one and the PSG LGD one, RIP by the way, they're not really sponsoring LGD anymore. Were two designs that I was really fond of.
Yeah, you have to get your hands on one of those PSG LDG shirts before they all disappear now, because that's it. The partnership is over, so they might be a collector's item. So you'd have to really go for it. But it looks like all the players getting ready. You know, they're getting serious now. They're focusing, getting ready to get themselves into the game.
Yeah, all the peripherals are there. Toronto, Tokyo, just testing his headset.
So hi guys, hello.
Yeah, we're talking about picks and everything. One hero that I would like to see, especially because in the past save used to play a fair amount, is the Wind Ranger. I think they buffed the shard a little bit. They buffed they did
Live байгаа.
aspect of universal heroes.
Крипши хэсэг дээр өгнө байгаа та.
It seems like they are in a good place. So this universal
IBC Sport гэж хайх юм бол YouTube-ийн live гараад.
Wind Ranger is a really fun support. You know, the shard is fun. Getting those shackles is so hyped. So maybe we can see a Wind Ranger.
What was the buff? I know was it base stats or was it stat growth that got buffed in the last patch?
Oh, the last patch Wind
Энэ нөгөө нэг дээр тайлбарлаж ирсэн Betboom Dacha гэдэг тэмцээний дараагийн сизон эхэлж байгаа. Зүгээр шагналын сангийн төлөө тоглож байгаа тэмцээн л дээ. Өөр ямар нэгэн DPC оноо ч юм уу ямар нэг ирэх байхгүй. Нэгт орох юм бол $150,000, хоёрт ч $62,500.
Possibly that's a hero evolution last pick if it's a good game. I know for sure that he does like playing the
325,000, 412,500 гинэ. Их мэтлэн нийт $250,000 шагналын сантай тэмцээн байгаад байгаа. За манай өнөөдрийн 2 дахь цуврал. Evil Geniuses болон Betboom гэсэн багууд хоорондоо тоглоно.
I think they would probably pick that one up. I'm sure that they can flex it to a lot of roles. Even mid, I think Chris Luck, he's known for playing mid Underlord.
Yeah, Ичи. Нэгэрэ шууд панга сонгочдөг юм байна.
Yeah, straight in. So they're going to give Betboom the choice here.
Evil Genius болон Betboom аль аль нь бол TI-д орох эрхээ авсан хоёр байгаа. Хоёр баг хоорондоо тоглож байна. TI өмнөх сүүлчийн тэмцээн болохоор одоо бол ер нь багууд юмнуудаа туршиж үзээд бэлтгэлээ хэр байгааг яахан байраа мэдэх тэмцээн гэх юм уу да. Hobson Tundra тоглоно. Hobson Tundra багийн мэдлэн дээр тоглолтыг үздэгээр болсон. Betboom 2-0 альвэ гинэ. За энэ хоёр чарин ойролцоо тоглолт болох байхаа. Ер нь яг ойролцоо л гэж орж ирээд аль илүү драфт хийсэн л очих байх. За би тэлхүү эсрэг орё гинэ. Би тэлхгүй тэгвэл. Түрүү эсрэг орж алдсан уу тэгвэл? Миний эсрэг орж алдаад байгаа ч. Нэг баймар амар юм ярих юм. Хүн тэрүүлмэр юм. Байнга ярьж яхаа нөгөөд байж. Асуу. Хариулна. Хариулахаар эсрэг орно гэж. Тэрийг орж алдна. Ч алдсан ч уйлна. Нөхдөд.
Not a hero that Whisper thinks he can get the best out of, right? Sure, it's a good meta hero, but Whisper has such a wide hero pool that he can probably become a better hero later down the line.
Ханга дарахтан шууд өдөөсөн шейкер дарцсан. Betboom-с.
Again, the last series, Mind Control not having the best time on the hero. So what do they ban out? They ban out the TA. So immediately now.
Цэнэглэлт таталт ТV явж байгаа шүү.
Do you reckon then mid keep the light off lane Earthshaker, or do you want to see this Earthshaker matchup against the Pango in the mid lane?
I mean, it's flexible, but I do believe the Shaker matchup is really good. So you honestly could. I mean, this is a really good flex.
За шейкрийн өнөөс шууд котл орж ирж байгаа.
Whisper. So overall, I think they did their homework really nicely done here.
Сэвийн котл. Ер нь бол багууд яйд зориулсан нууц хувилбарууд байсан ч гэсэн тэрийг бол ил гаргахгүй байгаа. Бүгдээрээ л яг өөрсдийнхөө авдгуудаа авч байгаа. Өмнөх тоглолтын дээр бол абха харсан баг. 9 Pandas яг л өөрсдийнхөө тоглодог батруудаар тоглосон. Нийгэм бол TI-д угаасаа орохгүй болохоор Craft-ны хувилбаруудыг жоохон өөрчилсөн байгаа харагдчихсан. EG-ийн мөн л яг л тоглолтгоороо тоглож байна. Pangogоо дарцсан, ханаас нь Dawn Breaker-ээ дарлаа. Нөгөө талаас Betboom ч гэсэн Solo-гийн гавьяд котл орж ирсэн. За GPK-гийн Shaker бол бэлэн орж ирж байна. Тиймээс ямар нэгэн тактикийн нууцтай драфт байх юм бол тэрийг шууд хадгалаад байгаа л гэж орж ирж байна да. Би аюултал. Энэ тэмцээнд бол тим ч их ач холбогдол өгөхгүй байгаа болохоор яг өөрсдийнхөө өөр сайхан ормыг шалгасан байдалтай л байна да.
Dawnbreaker farms nicely even after the lane stage is over. So she's not a hero that if counter in lane will be useless later down the line, as they will pick up the advantage we saw Enigma also choose. And yeah, this is always very useful against Shaker, just being able to break the combo.
Yeah, and don't forget everybody, you can use exclamation mark for Betboom, exclamation mark E for EG to vote in chat to say who you think is going to be able to pick up the victory here in this 2-game series. But yeah, Vengeful Spirit comes out. We saw it in the last game.
Тааштай юм тоглохгүй дээ, одоо бол тоглохгүй. Тоглох ч болцсон байгаа шүү дээ. Хүүе юу вэ? Имэд старанд орчлаа. За энэ тэгэхээр Shaker өөр тийш нь шитгэндээ мид Shaker биш болж таарж байна. EG-гээс Dawnbreaker-тэй Vinji орж ирсэн. Нөгөө талаас Kotlтай Storm Spirit орж ирлээ. За нөгөө нэг ярьжсэний дагуу бол Situation's хамааралтай тэр нөгөө нэг Gyro гэдэг баатараа шууд дарч болохоор харагдаж байна EG.
Really good drafting from Betboom. It feels like they are quite prepared for this match. And whilst you know,
Ой. Яа та.
I can't help but feel like Betboom is
амар орж ирж байна.
they have the overall last pick. You see if they can
Хай стримээ шинжилсэн. Өнөөрөө тийм шеэр хийж ирээ. Стримээ шинжилсэн шүү. Өрөн байсан хүмүүс бүгдээр гараа авчихсан.
always a scary proposition here for PA. You can get locked down quickly killed with the global silence.
Yeah, and I know you were asking for the silencer. We've both been saying about it for the past couple of days, but yeah, they'll bring this one.
Хай. Үргэцүү байна.
You know, even when it was a little bit out of favor, Betboom did bring the silencer back from time to time. It's a nice pocket pick for them.
Тоглогч байхаа болсон guys. Тоглогч байхаа болсон. Одоо зүгээр л сайхан дугаач тоглолдог байсан. За Silencer. Silencer гэсэн баатар орж ирсэн. Энэ хүү баатар нь таргетаа дуусгахад нилээ дөхөн болгож байгаа юм байна. Инхээр офлайны Shaker-тэй тоглогдох нь. Таргетаа дуусгахад яагаад дөхөн болж ийн гэхээр одоо жишээлбэл Initiate-гээд орсон таргет дээр Dawnbreaker үлдээ. За эсвэл Vinji-гээ swap орж ирэх боломжтой. Тиймээс ийм Saber төрлийн 2 баатар байхад хажуу талд нь Silencer байхаар глобал дараад swap-лах боломжийг мөн дээрээс нь Dawnbreaker-ийн Ultimate Solar Guard-ыг загсаагаад эхний таргетаа шууд унгах боломжтой болчихж байгаа. За тиймээс EG бол багийнхаа хүмүүсийг сэвэлж чадхаа болчлоо. Тэнгуүтэ офлайн дээр шууд Night Stalker дарж байгаа юм байна. Энэхүү батрыг авснаар айлыгаа эхлүүлэх биш өөрөөсөө вишингийн мэдээлэлтэй шөнийн цагаар Hunter in the Night гэсэн пассивын тусламжтай болол өөрөөсөө эхлүүлэх нь. Тэгэхээр глобалыг бол Global Silence гэдэг скиллийг offensive биш defensive даруулчих юм бол энэ багийн хоёр гишүүн болох Dawnbreaker, Vinje гэсэн баатрууд өөрсдийнхөө импактыг бол хангалттай гаргачих боломжтой болчихж байгаа. Betboom-ээс орж ирсэн сүүлчийн баг Void, нөгөө талаас TB гэсэн баатрууд бандагдсан байна. TB бол мэдээж ойлгомжтой байх. Энэхүү баатруудын өдөөс л нэлээд сайн. Night Stalker гэдэг баатар лэндээ бол mass damage physical төрлөөр гаргадаг. Тэгэхээр энэ баатрын өдөөс base armor нь 10-тай TB гэдэг баатар бол тоглоход бол ямар ч асуудал үүсэхгүй. Ямын дээрээс нь TB-ийн өдөөс match up жоохон дутуутай баатар авах гэж их боломжтой. Одоо бол багуудын сүүлчийн пик орж ирэхэд бэлэн болж.
But we do have that draft to complete now at the minute. So let's see what else Betboom do want to be taken away here. Away from EG, is there anything else that
YouTube, Facebook-에 яаж бүүстлэх юм бол сайн мэдэхгүй л. Орж ирэх л байлгүй дээ. Тоглолт эхлэхээр ер нь хүмүүс ороод ирдэг юм билээ шүү.
So do you think it's going to be something similar? I mean, maybe not the Sven, but you know, the offlane Night Stalker. I'm looking for a carry.
Өнөөдөр уг нь бүх тоглолтыг л каст хийх санаатай байна.
I really want this Night Stalker to go Blink Dagger. And so
Та ядаж дундаж үзэлтэй ядаж нэг төрөөнийх шиг байлгаж ивэл төрөөн ч нэг Facebook нь 200-д YouTube нь 100-д бодлогт 250-аас дээшээ байж ивэл сайн л. Юм бол бөөмөл ирч хүчтэйгээр бүх тоглолтоо кастлаад л яваад байна шүү дээ.
Maybe play the support Dawnbreaker is a little bit risky. Cast playing, you know, a PA, playing something that can abuse.
За. Betboom-ээс орж ирсэн. Сүүлчийн баг. Нагаас хоёрын гиндэ. EG-гээс орж ирэх сүүлчийн баг. Мөн дээрээс нь сүүлчийн пикнүүдийг харцгаая.
Just going through all of the reserve time to think about what they want to be banning out again, what they don't want to be playing against here against Betboom. They ban out the Medusa, okay? So that's pretty much, well, not quite all the big farming heroes. They do actually go back for that Sven.
Центр ийм каст ажилдаа.
Betboom here. What could they look to pick up? I'm just looking.
Би Missadr каст хийдэг шүү дээ.
Still available the draft.
Үлд
If they want to go off the map a little bit.
тим Монголжог шалгаруулдаг дээр каст хийсэн. Эдгээр бүгд нэг бүсийнх биш. Бидтэй гинэ. Энэ Betboom Dacha гэдэг тэмцээ ерөнхийдөө бол дандаа юуних Европын бүсийн багууд авч ирж тоглуулад байгаа. Тэгээ Beast Coast бол юу шүү. Европынх биш.
The thing though is that you need your lanes to be good enough and you already have relatively greedy cores, the right shaker before Blink Dagger struggles to really contribute.
EG бас Европынх биш. Одоо бол
so that at least that is a bit of a breathing room that the Phantom Assassin could get. But they want something a bit more stable. Pretty much the only hero left is is there one left? Not a standard meta one. I think they're gonna have to reach a little bit.
Ууг нь тэгвэл нэг их бол хийдэг бах тий. Аха. 37 over гарахаар байна уу? 37 over ер нь гарах магадлал ер нь ямар ч баатар ямар ч эрлэг геймийн баатар байсан 37 over бол одоо бараг сүүлчийн үед бол байн гардаг болсон шүү дээ. Айгу баха бороо. Виктор үгүй юм уу их харсан да. Би ойр тарин жоохон. Би бараг ойр дрим кастнаас холдоод бүр нэг би аюултал огт харагдахгүй байт юм гэж бодсон. Гол болчлаа.
I do like the draft of Betboom. Even though I said I'm backing up EG, I think Betboom's draft is a little.
Хайд надад сум асуугаалах юм. Гэт сумаа надаар зэнэглүүлээч шиг. Энийг л таталж явж байгаа шүү.
I really like the draft on the side of Betboom because it's pure against the hero. I mean, the hero is sustained, so that's been might even struggle against pure and saving that.
Би ядан таад ингэж
overall, I think there's
Бас жоохон гомдох юм аа ч одоо надаар зэнэглүүлэхгүй тэгснээ prediction асан зөө. Өнгөта авлаал гин алдлаа л гин тиймэрхүү юм яриад харж байна. Жоохон гомдох юм аа. Ихэр нь бодож байгаа. Надаар зэнэглүүлсэн хүмүүстээ сайхан байнгын daily tip өгөөд байдаг юм уу л гэж бодлоо. Тийм болохоор та хэдэг асуухар чинь хариулмааргүй санагдаад байна ш. TI-г нэг газар тухтай сууж байгаад үзчихэл гинэ. Өө нэрэ TI дээр энд event зохиох гээд юм бэлдэж байгаа шүү. Хайд нөгөө нэг өмнө юу мажорын тоглолт каст энд явсан штэ. Тэгээд тэгсэн чинь нөгөө нэг ор шилтэй юм уумаар байна. Тэгээд болохгүй байгаа болохоор хэцүү байна гэдсэн. Одоо тэр мэрийг зохицуулах талаас нь юм бодож байгаа. Тэр нь бодоод ажиллаад эхэлсэн байгаа тэгээд. Юу ч гэсэн төгөхөр нь л болъё доо төхөө. Ганцхан юм асууч Цэнэглэлт таталтаас хэдийн хувийг авд юм бэ? Тэрэнд хариулахгүй хаа. Өөрөө судлаад бол өө бар. Daily tip заримд нь өгдөггүй шүү дээ. Хамд бол өгмөөргүй санагдаад байхгүй. Чи нөгөө нэг эсрэг орно гэж хоцдог хүмүүсийн нэг болох. Аюу болчих. За техникийн сатал гарсан. Анаас судлах бол би зүгээр хэлж идөө. Цэнэглэлтнээс 5%, таталтнаас нь 2% байдаг байхгүй юу? Ер нь ямар ч газар, бүх газар адилхан. Иймэрхүү юм ууг нь ярьж болохгүй юм шиг байна. Орохоо болцсон шүү дээ. Ийм бол тийм бол. Тэн цаанаас дамжуулалт нь жоохон техникийн саталт болчлоо. Хэдүүлээ жоох хөвлөч.
And we're back. We're going to be able to get ourselves into it. Yeah, just some technical issues with the computers. So, no real big.
Аяал эсрэг шаардсан. Харин би наадах чинь мэддэг болохоор чамд бол хэлмээргүй байдгүй. Үнэ л эсрэг олсон ч гэсэн надад заавал хэлэх шаардлага байхгүй. Би бол наадах чинь хазалт л гэж ойлгоод байгаа шүү.
I'm not quite sure about that one. You know that wasn't going to be the pick right at the top. When we look at the vote results. And yeah, Betboom narrowly take it there, 53% to 47%. So
closer
even the
than I
chats,
thought.
It's a big split though between between us and chat.
Yeah, I mean, I guess EG pretty.
YouTube and ABC Sport гэдэг.
Even some of the EG fans now kinda on the South American EG bandwagon.
New map нөө.
Quick smoke here.
New map нь би ч гэсэн Betboom талтаа жоохон боломжтой л гэж хараад.
Yeah, they just get a dire ward on close to the lane there in the top side, really going for fights.
Yeah, and Pure, we can see it on the player cam there as well. Pure, he's still got the glasses on, so he's just in that like max relaxed state, you know. So no is there from him.
Яа тоглолтонд орцгоё.
Looks like they're really in, you know. You can see Picasso.
Group stage-ийн тоглолтод тиймээс best of 2 суурлаар явагдаж байгаа.
It looks like we might get a little bit of action coming out on these runes. Do they want to step up onto this one? EG, it's going to be maybe a 4v4.
За action болох боломжтой. Magic Missile дээрээсээ Hammer-ыг шидэж байгаа. Pure-ыг алах боломжтой болсон. Pure Storm Hammer орж ирлээ. Нэг удаа Magic-ийг дарах боломжтой. Юу ч гэсэн энэ чин татмаараа бол Magic дарж байгаа цогсон. Kill-ийг нь бол C Smile авж байгаа юм байна. C Smile буюу бид бүхний сайн мэдэх Chris Luck гэдэг тоглогч. Нөгөө талаас нь GPK-гийн Invoker орж ирсэн байгаа. Хаа эмоцийн тавын цээ. Өөр тарагдаагүй хүмүүс байж байгаа чинь.
I need to get myself in the right position, get myself comfy.
Alright, we should be good to go soon, hopefully. But yeah, this Matthew Dawnbreaker. I I do like the fact that they swapped it to support, just because at the end of the day it's gonna be how to really protect people against the global. Now the question is, do you try to go Greaves here so you get the Solar Guardian off?
Хацчлаа өстэй тэгэл дотроо л юм бодож штэ. Дотроо бодоол үл.
Comes out. That's gonna be interesting to see the EG read about that.
Yeah, I would expect the Greaves anyway, just for the sustaining the team fight. You're
Эрэлдэхгүй шүү.
and keep your teammates alive.
Яарч юу амар тэлттэй.
Yeah, that's a build. You know, 5 branches and a couple of tangos.
Арай гэж л өөрийгөө барин
That's definitely one of the builds of all time.
хайвнаар каст хийж.
Heroes, my friend. Yeah.
Эний вайбыг ивдэхгүй шүү.
All those branches you want, every ounce of right click damage you can get.
За.
Was it the Pango that picked up the first blood?
Yeah.
Нийгмээ 2-0-оор хожигдсан.
So, yeah, pretty much straight up gets the ball for the
Kn1Fe
gold.
Alt.
So, yeah,
C-Smile дээр цогцолтуудыг хийгээд явцсан.
okay. Maybe a couple of
Яд нэг
technical
баас арч ирж.
some pauses here. We'll get those ironed out as soon as possible. But you know, the first one being given over to the Pango there, really just a great boost up against the Storm Spirit in the middle. Because you get an instant ball pretty much.
Wait, did he say no SSD?
Did he?
How is he playing with no SSD? This makes no sense. How are you here?
Нийгмээ 2 дахь гэмэж гэсэн хожигдсан 2-0-оор хожигд.
Hopefully, again, the pauses we'll be able to get them ironed out and see how this is played. But yeah, the disconnect. Yeah, I know. Without an SSD, is it just? Is the power of I keep having on. It's the power of friendship.
Map нэг үү? Би болохоор Betboom л гэж бодоод байгаа.
Hopefully.
Betboom жоохон илүү драфт. Илүү гэх нь цаашаа нэ. Ер нь илүү драфт гэж тохиолдолч байхгүй л дээ. Ер нь зүгээр тоглоход илүү амар. Хар зураг нь илүү амархан л харагдаад нь Betboom-ийнх.
Oh yeah, I know all about that. Yeah, that was God, I'm old.
Yeah.
12 years.
Эний эсрэг ороод алдцсан зайлаач гинэ. Баярлалаа чи ч гэсэн зайлаарай.
Computer building courses alongside the rest of my uni. So, yeah, I know the pain.
Энэсийн 2 дээр тралт дардсан юм гинэ. Гэхдээ silence тулсан байгаа болохоор болохгүй л дээ.
Repair PC place. So
BKB-т бол BKB-гээ дарж яагаад болчихлоо тий.
those are PCs and like it took so long to boot. Like I remember the first time I got an SSD, it was heaven. You would go from like a minute to boot a PC to 5 seconds.
A minute? That's living
Yeah.
back in my day, right? Yeah, no, the first computer I had, I think you press the button to turn it on. You had time to go make a cup of tea and come back.
Дээр хүрээлэн
Oh my god.
яа ямар хэцүү байна цээг. Яа цээг орж ирсэн. За
DOS time. Those are the DOS times. Yeah, the zoomers in the chat are not really.
Арамта Токио position 5 болоод удаж шít. Цаг гинэ. Жил болж явах шиг байна шít.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah. And hopefully, like I say, it'll just be a quick swap. We'll be able to get ourselves back in. At least he's back in the game now. You know, he's reconnected in, so we'll be able to hopefully. We'll be able to.
Чи сүүлийн тэмцээнүүдтэй маш муу тоглосон тэгнэ.
Crab line.
Ийм үү? Би бол яг үзүүлэх ёстой перформансаа үзүүлсэн л гэж бодож.
I'm good with that.
Амар муу тоглосон гинэ тэндээс.
Well, you're the only one. All right, everyone here, everyone watching, we all have that dream. Unfortunately, some people don't see the beauty in it.
Ямар тэмцээн дээр?
I mean, I don't know. I think they just wanted like a good line.
Тий, Riad дээр. Тий шүү дээ, тий. Riad дээр муу тоглосон юм байна шүү.
I guess it sounded
Yeah.
pretty good.
But back to the
YouTube хаяг нь ABC Sport гэдээ хайгуул олдно. Би уг нь description хэсэг дээр YouTube-ийн
is that lane
линк, Facebook-ийн линк аль алиг нь тавьсан байгаа. Яхон хайгаад үзчих.
It's kind of, Troy's a really good laner. One of the best aspects of the hero. And then you're gonna be against 2 slows as a Night Stalker in daytime. So pretty tough. I think Dawnbreaker will have to tank a lot of that damage, just soak a little bit of the aggression. Because if you get enough levels without dying, that's probably enough. You don't need to win the lane. Night Stalker is one of those heroes that just survives to eventually thrive. I'm just curious to see the build. Will he rush, Facebook's blink? He's gonna go for some Mida.
За тоглолт эхэлсэн.
In terms of late game here, do they think they need to win this too early, or is the Trollstorm too scared?
За Whisper.
Go 40-50.
Ботлын лэн 2 милигийн өдөөс 2 рейнжд байгаад байгаа. Тиймээс Silence-ийн хувьд шууд Claves of Wisdom буюу 2 дугаар скил авчихсан. Хараалцахад маш хялбархан болцсон байгаа. Тиймээс нөгөө талаасаа бол Dawnbreaker цэрэг чирж гарагдаж байна. Pure дээдл дээр Pakats дээр тоглолтыг бол гүйцэтгэсэн. Котлын хувьд бол ямарваа нэгэн баатартай trade hit хийх боломжтой баатар бол биш. Харин оронд нь өөрийнх нь attack range бол move speed нь өндөр болохоор модны хоёр захаас өөр дээр нь биш. Хэрэгтэй ажиллаж яхад нь бол гадна талаас нь цохилтоор холох боломжтой. Баатар бол орж ирсэн байгаа. CV-д бол ядж яхад котлороо бол нэлээд их матчтай. За ер нь бол гарын баатруудынх нэг. Тиймээс positioning үнэхээр л утгагүй сайн байна. Гол дээр GPK last hit-ний байдлаар 13 гээд илүүрхэд гараад ирсэн. Нөгөө талаас C Smiley-ийн хувьд бол first blood-ыг нь авсан байгаа. C идэж гисэн. Last hit бол дутуул явж байна да. Энд амьд өгнө амьд тоглож байгаа. Сая бүр PI-д орох гээд. Валифраар үзэж мүдсэн явжсэн шүү дээ. Финалд шалгарсан шүү дээ бүр тэ. Игма 2-0 тулсан.
Saving Pure on this lane. They are looking to get this harass out. Panda trying to do what he can from a distance here, but Pure, he's just sitting in the creep wave saying, okay, because you have to come at me. And if you do, you're going to be eating an enchant totem here. So yeah, you can see him not even using it on the creeps. Just making sure he's safe.
Yeah. Тоглолтын 3 дахь минут туудахгүй эхлэх гэж байна. Хоёр талдаа бол Lotus аавна. Lotus дээр Night Stalker-ийн лейн нэлээд хэцүү байгаа болохоор Lotus-н дээр үзээд байна да. Lotus-а доотлол дээр Night Stalker авсан. Дээдл дээр бол Betboom-с порт навж явах шиг байна. GPK голд акшн хийсэн. За бранч зоож байгаа дургшаага гарч гүөх гэж оролцсон боловч ресурс ашиглажлаа. Bottle болон Magic-ийг дарсан. C Smile team-ээс алж чадсангүй. Nightfall.
Push back here. Toronto Tokyo trying to come through with harass as well, and Whisper just moves himself back towards that tier 1 tower.
Тэгээ Торонто дээр типэлж. Хоёр дахь хороо зэрэгж ирсэн байгаад байгаа юм байна. Matthew.
Silencer is really bad at stopping the drag of the creeps. So one of the few advantages EG has in that offlane.
Yeah, and it's going to be
4 минутны water rune. Хоёр талын мид бол хоёулаа боталтай хоосон боталтай байгаа. Матив эндээс Storm дээр гарч ирэх боломжтой хаймраа оройтой шидсэн. За гэхдээ Star Breaker ашиглаж байгаа зодоо алчих юм биш шүү дээ гэсэн дагаж гүөхөөр өгтөгтэй Матив. Ан удаан туршлага байгаа дагаж гүйж өгчээсэн. Яа энд ямар муухай гажигтай паус ороод ирвэ. Матив ч ингэж дагаж гүөхөөр л яг өгтөгтэй. Энэ удаа гэхдээ өгөхгүй юм шиг байна. 8 Magic-тэй. Askтэй нөгөө талаас C Smile ирсэн байгаа даа.
Yeah, if you walked up the cliff, maybe GPK drops around and Matthew not expecting it, he gets the kill. But C Smile, he's on the chase. He's got half of his mana left full. Clear. Swashbuckle up in 12 seconds. Oh yeah, the shield crash. Is it enough to close the gap to get the last hit on the Storm Spirit?
I think it is. I think you just get the shield crash. Maybe even kills GPK instantly. If it doesn't kill it, I think Storm is way too slow. 285. Pango should get this one. Yeah. Very close though. My
энэ дэр биш тий.
Which allow GPK to survive. But Matthew has 8 stick charges. I don't think he's dying either.
No, and you can see the smile on GPK's face. I think he knows it as well. Let's see as the on-pause comes through. GPK trying to run himself.
За GPK гараа авцсан. Jungle дөхнө гинэ. Jungle дөхчлээ. Амжилттай болсон.
to think, right? So he's like, I'm not gonna live, so best of bad options.
I expected that maybe
Ямар их фаусттай тоглолт болж байна.
would just go blindly with the shield crash there, but instead he waited to get vision, which is fine, but nice deny from the storm. We do have kind of a slideshow game going here. Hopefully we'll have everything sorted.
Yeah, it's just, the players are still recovering, so Troll's going to disconnect again, get hopefully back in quickly. And so the game, it's taken a little bit for this game to start. We look at the Storm himself, 28 last hits to the 7 denies coming through, up against the 15-2 to the Pango. Obviously, the Pango picking up the first blood, and the Storm being missing for the next 20 seconds. Pango has more than adequate time here to try and catch up and try and recover.
Pretty even laning stage so far, though. Both the Night Stalker and Pango struggling a little bit. They have that form quite fast in BG, so it shouldn't matter, especially once nighttime comes, allowing Whisper to actually start playing Dota, right? The first 5 minutes of Night Stalker are pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, and we'll see what kind of shape he's going to be in when that first night comes out. With the Night Stalker, I know it's not super in meta, so we don't have a lot of examples to draw from, but do you want to be making a move as soon as that first night comes out? 30 seconds away from that, or do you still stick in the lane, get what you can out of it, and then
EG Beast cost 2-0 гэж байх юм уу?
Make some big impact plays.
It's probably the end of the first night where Whisper can really do
хэцүү юм дээ.
You need your level 6, or you need to be winning the lane in the first place, which definitely not what's happening here. So
Harkerтай.
time you get your 6, you can go for a move, and then
EG ч ойр ямар хөө гол.
feel effective and hunt that storm. Obviously, you do have your OT in between the daytime, so that those are opportunities we can definitely use to maybe get a couple of kills. But overall, just it does.
Essence Powers EG all in хийсэн.
I remember when, and again,
EG Beast cost 2-0 гэж байх боломжтой баха.
The time and the pauses, but going back again about 12 years ago when I first got into the Dota 2 beta, and Night Stalker was this mid lane hero that all you needed to do was you went for double braces. First night came out, you had your double braces, you just started chasing down, rotated off the mid lane, you just looked for support, you got fed off those, picked up your Vanguard Basher, and that was it. Then if you lost the game, well then you did something horribly wrong. But the difference to the hero now, it is a slower build up, so
Харин төстэй л зовлонтой паус. Коучуд хоорондоо яриад яах юм? Коучуд тоглолтын дунд ямар ч нэмэр нөлөө болдоггүй шүү дээ. Коучуд Discord-д нь ч орж болдоггүй шүү дээ. Хажуу талд нь ч байдаггүй шүү дээ. Коуч нар. Драфтыг нь хийж гिचэл зайлаад өгдөг шүү дээ. Талбар дээрээс.
Now what happens is this hero's chaos, like this is why this hero can even be played as a carry now. You have an amazing shard, your eggs are good. The fact that you do damage with your silence in AoE now is insane. Resetting all of your cooldowns with the OT, like lots of things were added to Night Stalker to allow him to scale. But for that, he needs to be kind of a potato early on, or else the hero will be broken.
Well, that was the thing, right? That the old Night Stalker used to have the Ags that extended the nighttime. So you'd drop your nighttime and like it just go on for longer and longer, like to the point where at level 3 on your ult with Ags, you'd have something like 30 seconds up of daytime between like 15 minutes.
Тэгээ бизнес ярилцлагыг би яаж хийдэг вэ? Наач та эдэл таамаг та эдэл ярьж байгаа юм шүү дээ. Пюрин шилмэлээ зүүцэн тоглож идэг байц. Нэг бүтэхгүй нөхөр байна.
Vision or some crazy bullshit like that. It was so hard and scary to play the game.
Yeah, and
Pure гэж сте. Хоол амжилттай байгаас яг л манай Бобби. Арай дэнд. Хар шилтэй тоглож шít юу вэ? Яа дэтэл тэр. Тотморо Баказыг зөхиад авсан. Оронтогийн дахиад л өгч байгаа юм байна доотлол тэр Whisper. Яа дахиад паус. За.
So 53 ping, but feels like 300. Okay.
Yeah, hopefully it's just like everybody just gives it a quick restart.
What's the closest server to Romania here? Let me look at the map because I'm not that good with geography. So it's closer to.
I think the lobby's on Sweden.
So it is
Service.
Stockholm then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a bit far away, honestly. So I
YouTube channel нь Abyss Esport.
Considering the distance here.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've not had any other issues throughout the rest of the games that we've seen the past couple of days. So maybe there are just some server issues going on, so we need to get they need sorted before we will be able to get ourselves back into it. But again,
Лан тэмцээ.
too far out.
Онлайн байсан бол ийм их асуудал гарахгүй л дээ. Хаос авагдахгүй. Бангийн тэмцээн л юу н хаос авагддаг шүү дээ.
Everyone back in. Checking their ping.
Yeah. Good to go. Kn1Fe. Phone's back in. No ping.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing that in console everyone has 52 ping. Yeah, that's interesting. I was definitely once the patch dropped, I was having some really weird issues with ping. Like I have 5 ping when I play South American servers, but sometimes the games felt glitchy. Like it felt like there was some delay going on, even though I had no drop. Maybe that's what they're going to see here. They're going to try.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed that everything is going to work and be fine, get ourselves in. I mean, I know there has been some confirmed matchmake issues, so there might be some server issues behind that as well. That I know players have been trouble just getting into pubs and stuff. Being stuck on confirmed matchmaking.
Yeah, definitely. South American pubs, like you try to queue for a game and then it actually finds a game.
Yeah, тоглож явагдах нь юм ч та.
It just keeps queuing infinitely, and if you cancel, then you realize that you didn't accept the game and you have a penalty for that. It's super weird. But I'm not sure if every region has it or it's just South America.
I know I've seen a few complaints about it, so I think it might be one of those just general global issues that everybody's having. The patch issues, and hopefully they'll be getting sorted. We'll be able to we'll be fine and dandy to get right back into our more happy pubs with this new behavior score system that everybody seems to be. I mean, I don't know how it's been in your games, but my rank games have been great. Because playing around the 2K level, you do get a few quote unquote new players in your unranked pubs. So I've been having a lot more of these new players popping up apparently in the unranked, but ranked seems fine.
Yeah, like honestly, my ranked games have been a blessing. Everyone's so quiet. Whenever someone says something, it's usually something useful, something positive. People even say sorry if they get too.
Betboom ECV нүзтэй. Ер нь ойролцоо 2 баг л гэж орж ирж байна да.
I gotta say that playing Dota has improved heaps and bounds. Sure, there might be some problems with the system and whatever. It might take a while for it to adjust, but in general, from the people that I talk to and for my games, it has been pretty good.
Yeah, and hopefully long may it continue. And the system's only going to get better, is what I'm told, as it does refine itself more and more. So now that we've kind of sold out to the Dota matchmaking, hopefully the game will resume and we'll be able to get ourselves with some good servers and get ourselves on with the games.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'm assuming it's just some an internet problem, right? Because we don't have true LAN in Dota, because it's tough. I think. Do you hear the Kn1Fe and Syndrome podcast?
I've not listened to it recently. Like, yeah, I do usually stick it on, but I've not had it on the past couple of weeks.
Because they were discussing the fact that, like, I think it was during Rehad, right, where they had a game that I think someone DC'd right after a fight started. So like they
Right.
DC'd and they got stunned, and it was like a really bad fight. And they had to decide during the game, like the admins had to decide if they should remake the game or not. But it was like it was a 20-minute game already,
Oh.
and they decided to keep the game running. And sure, if you have LAN, you can actually like a problem like that's not going to happen because it's not an internet issue. But other problems arise. Whereas, what if the power goes down, or like what
Yeah.
if like a PC for some
Зэн
reason
ямар
goes
удаан
down?
байна вэ?
There's a lot of other issues that come with True LAN, so it definitely goes both ways. Having it online, like it definitely makes it. You can have issues like that, but there's also a lot of benefits that people forget sometimes.
Yeah, and hopefully, like I say, we'll. I'll just keep saying hopefully. I'll keep my fingers crossed that we'll go. Oh, we've got the go try. Now let's not say anything for like a good
Зя
30 seconds, just in case.
эхлэхэндээ.
Well, let's just talk about the game. No comments about anything else that is not the game. So nighttime finally comes in. We see a good TP here.
За голт нөгөө талаас Pango Винжигийн тасламжтай орж ирсэн. Матив дээр Electric Vortex орж ирсэн ч гэсэн. Magic Missile дээрээс бол цэвэрхэн нэг kill орж ирлээ.
And see Smile, he's going to take some tower damage, but he's going to be absolutely fine with that. And again, just gives him that space. You look at him, top of the net worth now as well, even though he's. I don't even remember how many last hits behind he was. I think that was about 15 minutes ago. But Pakaz taking some harass because they saw both of these supports. Pakaz takes down the courier, but they see the support rotation, so the Fisher comes out. Does he get the kill onto this one? Vengeful Spirit Panda's rotating back in. Tower shots coming out with a magic missile, and Pure, he has to give it the leave.
It's so funny watching Karras is like, okay, I can get this kill, but there's two melee creeps right behind me. Should I? And then he just gets the melee creeps. Just carry mindset trumping any other benefits. But yeah, I mean that was a hard kill.
Яг Ийлийн харьцаа бол 5-2 болсон байгаа даа. 2-0 болсон байгаа даа. 6 дахь минутны power үн outл дээр гарч ирэхэд нь бол save очоод ямар хацтай менюс гараад ирлээ. Өөр үнэс бол нилээ эвгүй. Тэгснээр бол амьд үлдчихэж байгаа.
He was looking for that one, doesn't get either the kill nor the rune here. Matthew trying to get this creep pull through, and Whisper, it is nighttime now, so has a little bit more behind him. We'll see if they're going to be able to contest into this one. Whisper, though, they might try and fight out Toronto, Tokyo. Big thing is no stuns on support in the lane, so what you can really do is throw out the harass.
Kn1Fe definitely having a pretty good game here. Same thing for the Pangolier in terms of net worth. They're looking good, but it definitely gets compensated by the fact that Whisper is still in recovery mode. Yet to really get his OT.
And Pure just taking some harass out from Pakaz. Does he want to move himself back in there? The Warcry comes out, but Pure, he's going to stand his ground still. And we do have the cleave coming through, so Pakaz can put the harass right back. In fact, Pure's going to be careful there. Enchant Totem comes out. Pakaz not going to be able to go for any more harass, but yeah, Pure has to move himself back. Not a lot of health left on him. At least, you know, he's having a good time in the lane, but Sven able to take advantage of the fact that he's out of a lot of his resources.
Зя тоглолтын 7 дахь минут. Үргэлжилсэн. Илний харьцаа 3-0-тэй. Kn1Fe 1-р Pango, 2-р Sven, 3-р Troll мэдлээ.
Wants to be extending the laning stage, forcing Sven out of lane, and he's even jungling before having God Strength. I think that's probably the right idea. With the Coddle there, the damage with the double Enchant Totem is way too strong. And, you know, he's actually getting a lot of farm here.
Yeah, it's all these mud golems, you know, they're not really too scary on their own here, but the magic missile comes out here, the hammer comes through. Lord. They just delete save.
Yeah, the minus armor for both the Pango and the Venge makes it. A lot of people forget, right? The Q on Dawnbreaker is physical damage, so when you add all of the minus armor up, even if it's a support Dawnbreaker, you can do a lot of damage when you land all 3 hits.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, Nightfall is finding some space now because of these constant rotation supports into the mid lane, even, you know, Pure finding someone, but this game going really well for EG. In fact, they might be able to get the backstab off now as well, but Pure already in the trees. Does he move himself back into harm's way? Looks like he's just going to be able to dodge this one off, though.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine. Working towards his treads, and yeah, I think he's really not going to have to worry about Sven anymore. Good jump from GPK.
Magic missile though, gonna stop him in his tracks here. Does he want to carry on going through? The ball lightning does come through. Save's gonna be here, just gonna give him some of that back. The Fisher connects here, and Panda, he's gonna be taken down. Yeah, he made that rotation down.
Зя юу вэ? Нэг дөрвсөн гэл найрцаатай болчих. Эргээ харсч. Тоглолтын 9 дэх минут үргэлжилж байгаа. 2K network-ны лид EG талдаа гараад ирсэн.
And like you said, the end of the first night, you know, you start to rotate around, look for the pressure being put on Whisper. That is just textbook there. Being able to get in, get the kill onto
Toronto. Nightfall бидэн дараач байна.
Exactly.
Дараагийн item. Butterfly.
But not only she has a way out, he didn't really get the perfect position to cliff Matthew.
Yeah, not going to be able to get the cliff teasy off today there, and like you say, he would have been able to get down anyway, even if he did. GPK, how's it looking? He's fallen about 1,000 gold behind the Pango from the mid lane, and C-Smile just continues to farm. I think that's the... Is it Diffusal Blade that he's working on there? I think it is. We're going to see more contest for the ruins.
Yeah. Dot direction болсон. Phoenix.
He wants to go into the Dawnbreaker. There is going to be a blinding light pushback here, and Matthew, well, in the middle of 3 heroes, GPK might be able to find it. He does. Gets that last right click with the ball lightning going, so he's going to be able to get the proc off, but he might be in trouble.
No mana.
Diffusal Blade. Does he get himself out of this one? It looks like he's going to be able to use the bottle though. The chase comes on. C-Smile is going to be underneath the tier 1 and now the tier 2 tower, and he's just being kited around, and Pure gets the kill onto Whisper, but C-Smile still in trouble. Can he chase any more for any more? Pure underneath the tier 1 tower here. Picaz has moved down now as well. C-Smile will go down. GPK picked up a kill.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jenkins would call that the Chris Drugs move. That's when he is a little bit too unhinged. Like, yeah. he had that Takado, he had the Regen Rune. Going for that play is very risky under tier 2 tower. Sure, you're a ball that is immune to magic, but not really physical damage, so those tower hits took half his HP. A little bit too aggressive from Chris Luck, but Mayo, sorry, he did change his nickname. Still, I mean, decent game. They were able to rotate bottom, pressure the throw a little bit. And Betboom, how is the Shaker doing? He's gonna be, yeah, he is definitely a hero that's about to get enabled with that Blink Dagger. Once Pure has it, you have to be very careful with how you play as the Pangolier, because one echo, we saw in the last series with Nigma, the Shaker just constantly killing the Pangolier. He's not a hero known for high HP.
No, and we'll see now with the Storm Straight being level 6. Well, there might be a jump on the top lane though. We've got 2 heroes waiting in the trees, and Pure, those Spidey senses, they are a tingling, so he's going to move himself back, just get himself back around the safe way through the little path. Because in the jungle, finding the farm, and the Sven is top of the net worth, having a really good time here. What's that? 2,000 gold above the troll.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Right? You need that battlefield to start accelerating. Troll farms just as fast, but he had a decent start, but the kill that we saw Sismayo and Whisper get bottom definitely slowed him down a little bit. And the stacks from EG were huge. We saw that at level 5 Sven was farming like a 4 stack right close to his tower, so it's just the best type of stack. He didn't take any damage. It was close to his tower. We do see a smoke though with the pause.
Yeah, and we'll see where they're going to be able to go, because there is 3 heroes.
Манай тоглолт ихрүү юм ч одоо юу вэ? Унтах нь би бүр.
Okay. I don't know if you have the ability, if he's got,
алгуу.
If you've got the ability to take.
Унтах нь гэж би сая унтаас ирлээ. Юу вэ ч тэр. Огт эхэлж гин үү? Юу болж гин?
You do have the swap in. You can swap him into a really good position if you want to follow that up, but was the Night Stalker? The Night Stalker is actually in the smoke, and he's actually coming through the high ground, it looks like, just behind the tier 1 tower in the Radiant side. So if he does get that the silence off onto the storm, they might have enough to get the kill.
Yeah, they definitely, well, if he's online, maybe that could happen, but we need to online, we need running the game for that to happen.
Игма 2 ажигдсан.
Yeah, let's check the items here. Is the battle control relatively close?
Үзэд алдъя л гэж байна. За юу болж байгаа юм? Хийлний харьцаа 5-4. Тоглолтын 12 дахь минут. Power өндөр үзэлт болсон доо. Яг Ролдод ороод ирэхэд нь голов дарагдсан. Silence-тай чиглэж байгаа. Дахид Silence-тай Chain Silence их боломжтой байдаг. Энэ одоо бол голов дорцсон. Ардталтай swap-тай. Тиймээс бол хүчилж акшн хийхийг бол хүссэнгүй Storm Spirit. За Silence-ыг өгөхэд талчлаа да. Энэ оронд Nightfall Fury-н дээрээ тоглолтыг бол гүйцэтгэж байгаа. За GPK. GPK-гийн хувьд бол энэ одоо Mana Rage-ний item бол ерөөсөө аваагүй. Шалтгаан нь юу гэхээр ардталтай котлтой. Оронд нь Witchblade аваад өөрийнхөө сайхан damage гаргалтан дээр анхаарч игсэн бодолтой. Дээдл дээр Whisper. Dark Ascension дараад урагшаага хөөлөд Toronto Tokyo энд нь ирчихсэн. За Diffusal Blade-н дээрээс Shaker-ыг бол алах нь тодорхой. Healing нь бол C-Smile авч байгаа юм байна. Үргэлжлээд бүр урагшаага гүйчлээ. Энд Торонто дээр л үзэхэндээ Flash Buckle дэмэжээр орсон Shield Crash-тай дагаж гүөх юм бол өөрөө орсох гэдэг. Storm Spirit бууж ирсэндээ Solar Guard-н орж ирлээ. Нөгөө талаас Golop байхгүй болохоор алах боломжгүй. Үе арай ширүүтгөөлгүүд. Матю Матю ямар их галзуурж байна өнөөдөр. Матю гэхдээ амьд үлдчихлээ. Панда цаанаас нэрсэн. Матю вар зогоод смоклоо зогссон. Тухайн 14 дэх минутны Wisdom дээр нь үзнэ гэж байна. Яран руу Wisdom. Жирлээ дээ. Зүгээр өгчөж байгаа юм байна Matt.
And GPK just continuing to farm. So let's see if they're going to be able to push this one back here, Betboom, because they are 4k behind, 4 kills behind as well.
За Furious. Тахгүй билийг гарч ирж байна. Furious билийг гарч ирснээр л ерөнхийдөө бол Betboom-ийн тоглолт хөдөлгөөнөд шууд итгэвчэж эхэлнэ. Нөгөө талаас GPK бол уг нь Witchblade-тэй болсон хүлээж байгаа. Дээд талаар Tower нэгийг нь зөхиод эхэлсэн. Энэ хооронд Troll бол Fury-тэй болж байгаа гэж байна.
Yeah, Whisper, he's waiting. He's got the blink of his own. Smoke coming over. They want to take advantage of this. 5 seconds towards night. And Betboom. Do they back themselves away? They're even going to go fighting from this.
Ядээд дээр үзэж болно. Шууд Night Stalker Ultimate-н дээрээсээ бол Kn1Fe фирдж орж ирж байгаад алчиж байгаа юм байна. Swap-лаа Silence-ыг алсан. Энд Swash Buckle хийгээд дахиад save-ийг алах боломжтой. Я хоёрыг унгааснаар Kill-ний харьцаа 4.1 болж байгаа.
They go and honestly like they didn't commit the global there, but I think it's the correct move from Toronto. He knew that once Nice Stalker's on top.
Каз готтой өрхөө явж байгаа.
The spells were already cast and that's kind of how I thought that EG was.
Нэмэлт гурвалжингаа бол фармчлаа.
If they just cast all of their spells, global might not come fast enough. As long as the Nice Stalker is already on top of the storm, global doesn't mean anything unless they have BKB on the shaker, right? Because you need to be able to jump aggressively and stop this Night Stalker. But the thing is, Night Stalker can also get a BKB. And then what do you do? Well, C-Smile. You get the drag back and the global sounds comes out.
Яанд
They're going to stop C-Smile from being able to get away.
ой тоглолтыг хийгээд юу ч гэсэн C-Smile-ыг алдсан. Ардталтны swap-лаа орох гэж оролдож исэн Winje буюу Panda бол мөн л алж байгаа юм байна. 2 киллийг хойлонгийн Pure авсан. Toronto Tokyo-гийн хувьд бол Perma Intelligence 2 киллнээс хойлонгоос нь авч чадсан.
Available. Gotta be careful, Whisper. There are a lot of spells available right now. Jumping, Kn1Fe is gonna wear off now.
And
you're gonna have Matthew.
Night Stalker action дээрээс Dawnbreaker ulti хийж орж ирсэн. Нэмэр болсонгүй. Night Stalker-ыг угасан. За нэмээд бүр артлаас нь Chakra Magic өгж жагаад Dawnbreaker-ыг нь ч гэсэн унгаачлаа. Matthew онсноор kill-ний харьцаа 8.1. За Betboom Shaker-ийн билег гарч ирснээс хойшоо нэлээд идэвхтэй. Мөн дээрээс нь амжилттай тоглолтуудыг гүйцэтгэж байна.
will approach Bangalre's network. So finally, getting closer to that BKB, which will allow him to take fights, to deal with the silence of the Night Stalker. I'm still a little bit worried though. The swap into
Тэгээ тоглолтын 18 дахь минут тунтахгүй эхлэх гэж байгаа.
Storm to handle. He needs a BKB, and I wonder if GPK like Storm players is very high MMR Storm players. They rarely get the item, at least not a second item.
Нөгөө талаас Свен Паказийн хувьд бол нэмэлт мапныхаа стактай эншинтийг мөн л фармж байгаа юм байна. Network-ийн нэгт явж байгаа Свен 13,000 голтой. Ханаас нь Pango 9,300. Маш л сайн фармтай байна даа хүмүүс.
And it's going to allow him to keep up with N1Fe and experience, which is something that the talents of Night Stalker are quite good. So I do like it because at the end of the day we'll soak so much farm from the map, and you don't want your offlaner to be a non-factor. This game could go very late when you look at Betboom and the heroes that they have. You want to be able to match the strength they're going to have. Oh,
look at this chase down Toronto Tokyo. There is going to be the TP.
Я Night Stalker Toronto Tokyo галах гэж олдсон. Амжилттай болсонгүй.
So nice escape there from Toronto Tokyo. Just reading that, I guess, with the as soon as the void came out, just turns around, drops the curse, and then TPs away.
EG still controlling the map pretty well during nighttime. I wonder if they're gonna try and use Roche eventually, maybe the last minutes.
Night Stalker Blink аваад ер нь бол өөрөө эхлүүлэхийг хүссэн. Рафтан дээр л маш ойлгомжтой байсан. Sven Dawnbreaker-тэй Night Stalker авсан шалтгаан бол Night Stalker-аа урдаа гаргаж Дайны эхлэлийг бол тавиулахыг хүсэж байгаа. Тиймээс өөрийгөө ингэж sacrifice хийж байгаа Батрын хувьд бол шууд Hand of Might sound гиндэ. Доотлол дээр Эко орж ирж байгаа. GPK-гийн нэг kill C Smile дээр амжилттай бүтсэн.
Matthew is going for that grips we talked about, so we will at least be able to handle the global moving forward. Couldn't really save his smile there.
Yeah, and he is going to move himself in, I think, under some vision. Are they hunting here for a fight? They might do, you know, the global...
За 9.1 гэсэн гил нэрцээд байгаа. Энэ Storm Spirit орж ирээд Fisher-ын дээрээс бол Witchblade-ийн damage-ийг хийлээд дуусгачлаа. Dawnbreaker онсон, Pango байхгүй. Нөгөө талаас Night Stalker бүрхээд ороод ирж байгаа. Юу ч гэсэн Blinding Light-ын дээрээс түлхээд холдуулсан. Sven орж ирээд зодоо алчиж байгаа юм байна. Pakazin damage амар байна да. BKB-г дарж байгаа дахиад. Storm-ыг хүртэл алчлаа. Юу вэ? Бүгднийг нь алж ийн. Pure-ыг алсан, Toronto-г алсан, Pakazin triple kill, mega kill streak дуурсан. 18 level-тэй network-ийн 1-р 15,000 голтой. Төвсөлдөгч багийнхаа network-ийн нэгж явж байгаа тамирчнаас 5,000 голтны илүүтэй. Нэг том айтууны ялгаа гарцсан л явж ин да. Эренод дээр.
If they want to make a move towards it, once he does move towards the bottom, they've got a decent window here. Okay, maybe not Whisper. He's taking a lot for us just from the eating them with his shard. I like that shard as well. I think it's a really nice. You know, it just enables you when the zoom meta was at its peak as well. I'm surprised that it wasn't picked up a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think we even saw Sven off lanes and stuff like that for a while because of it. Yeah. But
Ян Sven-ийг одоо яаж зогсоор.
In terms of GPK, so he is going BKB. I think that's definitely the right choice. It feels really bad not playing with Kai on Storm, but he has the Kato, so he has to prioritize surviving these fights and later on killing. Like you can kill people if you're dead, basically.
Yeah, it looks like Betboom taking a page out of Nigma's book that they know that the further they need to
Central.
So trying to get this Aegis popped here and probably giving it over to GPK, let GPK roam, find some fights, and Nightfall then just goes back to farm, and it doesn't look like EG. Are they going to be able to try and contest this in time? Because the Night Stalker
Storm авах.
has the ultimate, so that doesn't matter. But the Night Stalker is not here for the fight.
They have a lane ward. They saw the heroes, they saw the smoke, and they're too late. See a smile. Oh no, the global.
It comes out, they're going to try and make a move on C-Smile. Does he want to carry
Нэг удаа.
Thunder comes out now.
Эцэг бол GPK авлаа. GPK дээр агш орж ирсэн. Pango ролтж мөргөж байгаа юу ч гэсэн котлыг бол олчлаа. GPK-г алж бол чадаагүй. Нөгөө талаас Magic-д дарж байгаа Electric Vortex-ын дээрээс damage үзүүлээ өгөх гэсэн бодолтой. Sven орж ирээ ганцхан зөгцөн доо. Харагта одоо хүртэл хөөсөр байна. BKB-г дарсан. Нөгөө талаасаа бол Экон дээрээс тоглоё гэсэн бодолтой. Solar Garden дээрээс хүнээ аварж исэн бол энэ оронд ардтал дээр Kn1Fe бол эсвэн backlane-ыг хангалттай сүрүүлж чадсан. Thanks нэр 4-0 гэсэн. Kn1Fe.
5 kills going the way of EG, and Betboom just could not stand up to it.
Beautiful fight from EG. I think we probably should rewatch that. That was a lot of small things happening there. They even though they got the Roshan Betboom, with throw OT being available, I'm surprised he never really found an opportunity to commit that spell. But Whisper, he went to the back lines. He was able to do so much, and that Rolling Thunder from Sismail. He had the illusion room. That's the only way for that play to work, because the global silence should allow Betboom to disengage. Yet the illusion room allowed the Rolling Thunder to really get on top of Betboom there and force a fight they didn't want to take.
And EG 18 to 10, 13k net worth lead.
Яваг нь бол тоглолтын дөнгөж 23 дахь минут.
You see a lot of that net worth difference. I mean, it's a 12.
Олон Свений хувьд бол бүр гоцгойд тасраа гараад ирлээ. Өстө network-ыг нугалцсан явж штэ. Арайд эндүү байна.
Item behind, he's 2 items behind. 2 items behind. Forward. The jump comes in, GPK. Yeah, the global silence comes out, and like you say, he's just able to re-engage onto this one. The chase comes down, and it connects onto the Storm Spirit when he's not got a lot of mana left. The backline's there as well. Keeper of the Light gets destroyed, and they just go for one after the other after the other. And you can see that Nightfall, he's in 2 minds whether to get GPK. That A just gets popped. He just try and get himself in, pops that BKB. Can't get on top of C-Smile because of the swap, and he gets kited throughout his BKB, and the damage he just stacks up, and now they even get a kill onto Pure.
Yeah, oof. Yeah, that fight, Pure, he was on the right side of Roshan, so he couldn't really get an echo early on into that fight. He gets a solo echo on the Pango, and it did, oh my god, Nightfall.
Look at the damage. Yeah, Nightfall just has to run himself away. The BKB doesn't matter when it's pure right-click physical damage coming out from the Sven.
Yeah, I mean, he's just underfarmed. He only has a better free BKB against Paka's Harpoon, Silver Edge. He's just totally outfarmed.
Yes, swing.
That's what I'm saying. He's
Их дээрээ саагүй swing байна. Юу гэж байгаа юм. Нөгөө талаа silencer юужсэн force staff авах гэж байна.
As much as I like the rest of the lineup, I genuinely think Troll is probably one of the worst carries in the game. I know again it's a scrub information that I'm bringing in, but to me it never seems to work every time I see this hero picked up.
He's an unstable carry for sure. Like this hero either convincingly wins or looks the way that he's looking right now. I still feel like they have a lot of late game potential here for Betboom. So hopefully, if they can hold a little bit more, we might be able to see that Storm and the Caudal play together. But the nighttime is such a scary moment. Like they were getting all those kills during daytime. What happens now with Whisper being as farmed as he is?
За ямар нэг action болно гэж байх уу?
Looking for maybe another rotation, maybe just to group up for the tier 2 tower top and stop the contest coming in. But Whisper, he is on the hunt.
Kn1Fe майдтай дараагийн айтем BKB авах гэж байгаа. Угсаа өөрөө эхлүүлж байгаа болохоор хүлээж авахд нэлээ эрэхтэй. Өө эндээс Crypting хэрэн дээрээс ороод ирсэн. Nightfall дээр орж ирсэн. Энд Sven арай хайдлаар өнсөрчлээ. Storm амар шидэхт нь Echo дарсан боловч нөгөө талаас BKB-гээ дараад амжичлаа. Акацийн тоглолт тодорсон. Solar Garden дээрээсээ дахиад алах гэж оролцсон боловч эндээс тусалцтай гараа авчиж байгаа юм байна. Roll Warlord Kn1Fe. Маш гоё initiative хийсэн дээ Kn1Fe. Troll дараагийн айтны сонголтоор Sanjin яаша. Хацын network-ийг үнэхээр дийлэхгүй нэ. Тэг үзүүл яа гэж.
Totally shutting down Pure here.
And look at this, the right click's coming through Nightfall.
Энд харж байгаа бах.
By about like 10 health, there it connects just to the very end, and yeah, but it just feels like every time EG step up to a fight, Betboom will lose.
Уг нь Echo-таас хөрөн дээр налах гэж үтсэн тэр чи. Ийм ч амархан зүйл болсонгүй дээ. BKB-гээ дараад амжичлаа. Газин Kn1Fe даралт энэ төр бол амар байна. Дараагийн айтмаараа Swift Link авъя гэсэн бодолтой байгаа юм болов. Ялтын хөв. Өөр 86 руу яваад орсон ба штэ. Юу рагнимтай болсон?
Storm and the Caudal didn't really seem to play together as much as they needed to. They never really got a lot of kills. lot of farming in the beginning from Pure. Does have the eggs. Oh, nice cancel there with the void.
They're gonna be able to get that kill. And yeah, I think that EG, they just put a lot of pressure onto the Storms. You know, they force both supports to Toronto, Tokyo. He's just wrong place, wrong time, gets caught out, killed off, and because you see Save, he's in the trees, he's just saying, I'm just a happy little tree.
Я вакацийн хувьд бол Торонтог алах нь гэхэл хархан байгаад байна. Айлынхаа аутпостыг эргүүлсэн.
They have a swift blink at 27 minutes on the cast. Holy moly, man.
100 үстэй 100 ч бас хаашаа юм бэ?
And you know, I'm glad it's because this guy is very good at throwing, but very good at fighting as well. 11-0, we saw some aggressive.
Цаастаар спирит. BKB-тэй. Каятай, Witchblade-тэй, Ogun Damage-тэй. Тэгтээ
He's making this fight much easier for the other heroes in the team to navigate.
Yeah.
Damage гаргалт нь бол хангалттай биш байна. Dawnbreaker Winjet-тэй. Нэмээд armor buff орж ирээд байгаа. Venus.
The offensive, the early aggressive items like a Sanj and Kyron there. He was forced to be babysat by his supports. You know, that stunts the experience getting in there. He didn't really get too many kills early on. He's not got the
Betboom-с 5 battery smoke.
in the mid game. Everything about
Явж байгаа та.
the Storms rate just it's put him on the back foot and he's not ever been able to recover, it seems like.
Yeah, for sure. The fact he's forced to BKB definitely reduces the amount of DPS and
Үнтэй эвлэрч сурмаар байна. 100
the Kara would be
100 гэж байхгүй хаа.
that. But once you're this far behind, it doesn't matter. Like the Scotto, he can't even stay alive to cast one
And let's say 29 minutes, and let's just round it up to the 29-minute mark. The Sven has double the net worth of the Troll Warlord. And this isn't like, you know a hero that it's a Battle Fury Troll Warlord. He has the same farm opportunities.
Яа дахиад смоктой хөдөлгөө явж байна. Свен дээр өөр дөр нь эхэлж болно л да яг хуу. Дайны нэг гаргалгаа гэх юм бол смоклж гүйж байгаа Свен дээр өөр дөр нь шууд экото суурин дээр нь алах гэж оролдох боломжтой. Голов дараад экото эхлэхэд бол бас ондоо байх болно.
really looks like they are outclassing Betboom here. I honestly felt like the dress were even, but the fact that they're doing this, oh look at that, good jump.
Yeah, they're going to try and get on the back lines, but again, the Troll Warlord, he's being manhandled. Pakaz takes him down before he can get the spell off, takes down Save now as well. And Pakaz, he's got that BKB still going, and GPK is out of mana. They're just going to, I mean, they can't fight into it. There's no way for them to get it now.
За баргал 100 болж байгаа юм шиг байна та. GG guys. Юу Свен дээр өөр дөр нь эхлэх. Свен орж ирэл юу ч болоо гэж хоёр зөгчлээ. Зөөгөр манай баа хоёрын нэг юм EG ялж байгаа юм байна. За хэсэг засварлаах юм. Би бас энд нэг юм хийгээд юм. Цэнэглэлт таталт байнгын хэвийн байгаа шүү. Тэгээд нэг 3-5 минутын дараа пауз хөө гой тоглолтоор уулзцгаая да guys. Айныг юм бол арай дэндүү.
Yeah, I guess it was such a sudden GG that maybe they were not ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's me here. I'm hosting. We have an English panel coming out here, coming at you for that game. I'm here with Kn1Fe.
Hello.
And Ari.
Hello.
From TSM. Winner. You're a winner. What's it like winning?
I love winning.
Just winner.
Yeah.
Winner.
Winner of one series at Betboom Dacha.
But
You
a
ha- you
very
haven't
great
lost yet.
series.
Yep.
Undefeated.
Yep. I wanted to ask you actually. Okay, well we're gonna talk about this game, of course, as we see the boys hugging it out. Get into the mindset for the next game, wiping the slate clean. Let's ask about that. How do you wipe the slate clean after a tough loss in Dota 2?
I think maybe Betboom found this game hard because Pure couldn't see the game very well through his sunglasses, and the screen was a bit dark. But maybe his team just tells him, just take off the sunglasses. Next game will be a lot easier when you can see the screen easily. And then
he
you'll have
refuses naturally.
Then of course he refuses, but of course they'll be telling him next game will be easier when you can see the screen.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're saying that was Pure's fault, is what you're saying? On the offlane Earthshaker.
Definitely.
Okay. Kn1Fe?
Anything Ari says, I will agree with because, as
have to.
Jenkins mentioned, winner. I wouldn't necessarily attribute that to pure Jenkins. I think that was just a really sick outplay by EG. They played around their Sven very nicely. it was stacks galore in the early game. They collapsed around that mid lane to play around Chris quite early on, so he did get a net worth lead over the Storm, which is a bit difficult for Pango in that matchup, but EG were able to do that for him, and then they just played the typical 4 Protect 1. You had his team running around while Sven was farming, and when Sven hit his item timings, he was just ready to win the game.
So something you talked about, and you mentioned that you have said in the past that you put like sticky notes on your computer to remember like rune timings, like wisdom runes, and because there's like a lot of garbage in Dota you have to remember. Do you go mid every single game? Because like Effie's talking about this mid matchup, how important it is. Storm Spirit, you know, obviously Pango and Storm are both heroes that fight for the runes. Like, do you go mid every single game?
I'd say I go mid about 90% of games by minute 6. And there's a lot of factors that decide whether or not you go. It's generally if both mids have a bottle, if your mid is your win condition, or if you're just kind of stacking this lane to, like, let's say I have a Lycan in my lane, I might want to enable him and play in the lane more, make sure we win it. Because there's some lanes, if I leave in even for 1 minute, we've just lost the lane. I have to stay there the whole time. So it's these factors you're considering, but most games I'll be going mid, at least by minute 6 one time.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Pretty much depends on like whatever the hero is in your lane. Okay. In this game, a Night Stalker, EG, they had the Night Stalker, and he rotated pretty early towards the top lane, Effie, and kind of blew the game wide open on Whisper.
Yeah, I'm really glad you pointed out Whisper because his performance this game was impeccable. The Night Stalker pick came as a response to the Silencer pick, and one of the best heroes in Dota that you can to jump these squishy backline supports, but he did struggle on lane versus that Troll, which obviously, Ari, that's what Troll does, but the second it hit nighttime, he was active all over the map. Outside of those early rotations that he did in that first night, he was the key factor in these team fights, him going in, killing people with that new silence. Even his build, buying that shard early on just to amp up his farm speed and joining fights whenever he could, he was the tempo creator in EG. He was the backup to see Smiles jump in, and it looked really great.
Tempo creator goes for Shard Midas. I love
it worked.
I love the
it
Dota
worked,
patch.
Man.
I
it
love
worked.
this patch as an offlaner because you can actually get a Midas without people reporting.
In one way, you could say he's enabled to play fast because he has Midas Shard, so he can keep up in farm while not farming at all.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just genius in that regard.
Yeah. He's at the very least an evil genius, and the whole time that allowed Pakaz to get huge. Like he was legit like 20k net worth, enemy troll 11k. It's like, bro, how do you even play that matchup?
Well, this game was very reminiscent of our game yesterday against these people when they have a Night Stalker that has no lane, he's got no game. And then they have a Sven that's 20k net worth by minute 15 because he has free lane and farming giant stacks. And Betboom supports they didn't have the supports to be able to contest the stacks. So this is pretty much an identical game to the one we played against EG yesterday. And I think Whisper's very good at finding impact in the game, even when he has no lane and not much farm. This is one of his biggest strengths. And because, again, just way too fat on a Sven. And Betboom draft didn't really enable them to deal with him in the same way that ours did yesterday.
And just on the topic of the Sven, this hero has been in like the top 4 most popular carries in that patch. And outside of all the reasons we've talked about time and time again, like just the excess of camps on the map, it's just your support has so much more leeway in where they can play and still make stacks for you. In the past, in the old map with Sven, it felt like, okay, time to play around the triangle and we're just going to protect there. But EG this time around was actually stacking the 2 camps by the Radiant safe lane. So Vengeful Spirit was playing the Radiant safe lane while also stacking camps versus Sven pre-minute 10. So VS's impact stayed near the safe line while also optimizing Sven's farm, and you wouldn't really be able to say that in the past because those 2 camps, the ones inside of your safe lane jungle, are always contested. You cannot rely on making stacks there. But that top side area, it just the whole there's free real estate there.
No,
man.
it's like ours with the as a support, you have to make choices. Like, do I go mid? Do I stay in lane to like support a Lycan so that way he doesn't, you know, grief the game by feeding or whatever? But if you're playing Venge and you're playing on the safe lane with a Sven, you literally just like Howl of Terror a camp and it's stacked. And then all of a sudden he's like level 4, farming a stack, comes into lane, he's got like an extra bracer or something. You're like, dude, how do I play against a guy with like 500 extra net worth at this point because he just farms stacks?
Yeah. I mean, with that being said, I do think the Troll Warlord can do a lot versus Sven, but he has to keep up in net worth. The Troll pick was by no means bad, Ari. I mean, how do you view that matchup?
I think Troll is actually one of the best heroes against Sven. You lock on him, you have your BKB piercing route now, so you don't necessarily even need a basher, but you just press BKB, press ulti, you go on him, you sit on him the whole fight, and Sven can't really play fights if you do that. Troll just wins the one-on-one matchup. And I think it's no coincidence that Gyro and Sven are two of the best carries of the patch, in a patch where stacks are extremely powerful. They've been buffed many times. And I think I'm expecting teams to put more emphasis on drafting particularly supports and mid laners that can contest stacks easier. I think in this game you have Kotal and Silencer, who just, what are they going to do if Sven has stacks? They're not doing much at all. So I expect that to be a bigger factor when drafting heroes now.
Yeah, I like that you brought up the Kotal Silencer support duo, because earlier we were talking about Whisper's impact in this game and how the backline was so susceptible to just getting eaten by him.
If you're a Night Stalker and you see Kotal Silencer.
That is a delicious, juicy pick there. But the thing is, when you're playing Kotal with a Storm, if your Storm's first 10 minutes goes well, you can be a duo that can invade. You can be a duo that can move around the map. And that's where EG's intelligent choices were made. They just played around the Storm Spirit lane. They did not care to shut down the Troll. They did not care to play around that safe lane at all. They were bringing all of their impact to that top side of the map to the middle side, where a lot of other players might have focused on maybe shutting down the Troll a little bit. He had a great lane. They were not concerned at all. So there was very experienced decisions being made there.
I can kind of understand the Silencer pick in a way, and maybe you can give us some more information on this, because I feel like there's sometimes where a team sees, so they saw Pango, Dawn, Venge. 3 heroes that are pretty much countered by Silencer, because you can't swap, in the fight. You can't have the defensive swaps come out when you press the global. You cover that. You obviously cover the Dawn ult. It's like a hard counter to that. Even Pango, like if he rolls in, his team's going to initiate. Or you can like interrupt the roll with the global when you know that they're going to initiate. But it's a counter to all of those heroes. But then you end up with a Kotal Silencer. Do you ever find that you just get baited into a pick? Because it seems like the perfect pick for the game, but then it just doesn't really make sense with your draft.
You definitely do get baited into picks sometimes. Like, let's say it's a pub and you see Dawnbreaker and I don't know, whatever else that Silencer's good against. Then you take Silencer and you feel good because you're going to have a lot of impact. But in competitive, you have to think more about like the whole team and how your pick influences the rest of your team. And even if Silencer individually is a good pick for the game, it might not be what your team really needs to enable them. Like you've got Kotal Storm, you're committing to a strategy already. And this Silencer doesn't really enable those heroes. So maybe they got kind of baited into this hero. And there might have been better options to enable Kotal Storm.
Maybe like part of the bait is too, like you have an Earthshaker offlane, so it's kind of like, we got plenty of stuns with this guy. Like the hero pretty much like shits out stuns, So you're like, we got that covered. We don't need it from the supports. But Earthshaker's not really running around at like the stack taking time to take the stacks from the enemy team. Like you want to blink dagger.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Shaker had some really great moments where when he joined the game, when EG was chasing a little bit too much, he got some great fishers. There was that one fighter on the mid lane where they wiped 3 people and got the tower due to Earthshaker joining. But at that point, they still had the Sven issue. Sven had not died there, and he was still farming up. And you're reliant on these heroes that kind of just have to outfight the enemies on vision. But we saw how geniusly and how much more easily they were able to take the fights on the side of EG because of the Night Stalker and the Pango initiation. The Pango goes in, you got this beast of a hero on your backlines. They cannot enable the Storm. They can't Chakra Magic. They can't use their Blinding Lights. Just being eaten by this guy, and there's no one who can really deal with it at that point. So I feel like Betboom did not get to the point where their draft would have been effective in kiting the stun, because I can see how it would have been, but they needed a lot more net worth, and they didn't have enough time.
That's actually something I wanted to ask you about, Ari. Like, I guess this would be specific to your team and like your experience, but what is the comms like when you know that like 1-to-1 late game, their carry beats your carry, and that like if you go late game and it's even, you will lose. Like, is it like, okay guys, we need to go like take their stacks, or how do you talk about that? Like, do you even talk about that?
It's definitely hard, and it's very dependent on the exact situation in the game, because you could run the risk of like baiting your team into making desperate moves that aren't good because you're kind of stressed about this late game 1-to-1 carry matchup.
Sure.
And it's kind of a situation you have to like gauge to what extent is there a problem, and to what extent do we need a net worth lead to win this game, and trying to make the right decision as a result. But you just have to be careful not to say something that can bait your team into being too desperate. Because sometimes there isn't a nice move for you to make that will help you win early game. So you just have to play until the point where you're supposed to lose. But it's possible that they make a mistake, or you just outplay them in some regard. You kill the supports, they have no buyback, and then you can still win the game. You just have to kind of assess the situation and find the best way forward.
So not to put you on the spot here, because I think the new draft order is still something to be broken down by a lot of us and understood, but do you find that in this new draft order, the last 2 picks end up just being the carry-to-carry matchup? Because we have noticed that a lot of teams have been first phasing these storms and their mid laners quite early with the initial banning phase, and the carries are left until the very end.
Yeah, I think it definitely varies because some of the best heroes of this patch are carry heroes like Gyro, Sven, Naga, you know, whatever else. So often these heroes are getting either first picked or first banned, and if they're all banned, then you might end up taking your carry hero last because now you've not got a like S tier hero. You may as well go for a counter pick at the end. So I think you can kind of expect to see carry heroes either first phase or last phase, depending on if it's just the broken hero of the patch
I see.
or the counter pick.
But they don't often come in that second phase.
No, the second phase, there's not much reason to take the carry unless you just see their offlaner and you just counter pick that and that's good enough.
I see. And just to follow up on something you said earlier about some teams getting baited into picks, or it looks good on paper, but it's not what you need. Have you found that the new draft order sets up a lot more of these traps than the old one did, or if it's actually easier to draft around that second phase?
I think the draft order, not so much, but more the new patch. I think there's quite a lot of heroes that are considered kind of broken, and then they're like a tier above the rest of the heroes in the game. So you
Even after the C patch?
to a lesser extent, but it still stands for some heroes. And I think that you can get baited into picking one of these really broken considered heroes when it's not what your team really needs, not what your draft needs. Like I think maybe yesterday I shouldn't have taken Nature's Prophet because, well, for certain reasons, but I kind of got baited into it considering it's a strong hero.
Over nerfed a little bit. Speaking of over nerfed, we're going to nerf this panel a little bit and throw a quick break, and then we'll be back with game 2. EG.
level pubs. So the current winner, the champion, the most picked hero is Dawnbreaker, and she's sitting at a 52.7% win rate, which that is very high for a hero that's been played in approximately 3,000 matches. Then you've got the Vengeful Spirit, Treant Protector, Invoker, and Earthshaker, who of course are no surprises.
And those are all positive win rates as well,
So
even despite the nerfs.
very true. But my question to you, Ari, very important question, is this support Invoker. We've seen some people brave enough.
He did it. Didn't you?
I've not done it.
You've not done it?
I don't
No.
think it was him, but we've
Tofu's
seen
done it, I saw that.
Oh, it's Tofu. I was thinking you're Tofu. That's a compliment to you. Tofu's the goat.
Yeah.
one of the goats, yeah. But we've seen a lot of this hero being flexed the support role. How do you feel about it in particular?
Honestly, I don't have much understanding of the Voca 4. I feel like it's hard to know if it's being played because it's a flex and that's useful, or because it's necessarily strong on its own. And I think in pubs it's looked very strong. You know, you get your fast earn, you run around, you kill everyone. But I'm not sure it's going to be the same in competitive. I think the lane is a bit weak. So it might be more because of the flex factor, or maybe it is very strong and it just takes the support players a while to be good enough at Invoker to make it look good.
That's a good
Because that's
point.
the other thing.
The laning is definitely an issue. We saw Gaiman actually solve that. They had Brew Invoker. So they were just cold snapping to proc the Brew W, which I thought was really interesting, because it's something that kind of like makes both of those heroes, who are maybe not the best at laning, like a decent lane, a decent combo. And they actually first picked Brew here on EG.
Actually, I think the Brew Skylane is probably the most potent Brew combo that I've seen. It just feels like there was so much
That's a
kill threat
dirty one.
early on. But I want to talk a little bit about this Brewmaster, who's just become one of the priority heroes of the first phase in this new meta. The Vengeful Spirit gets taken out, which is no surprise there. But Ari, can you talk about what changed between this Brew and the Brew from last patch? And I don't mean like B patch or an A patch, just from now until the last big meta that we've had.
7.34.
Yeah.
Specifically, I don't know the Brew patch notes too well, but what I can say of Brew in this patch is that the lane feels a lot more stable than before. He seems to counter a lot of the popular carries and picks in general, so it makes it hard to draft for the enemies. And also this E where you swap the different stances is insane. He's like pretty much impossible to kill unless you have an MKB.
Yeah.
And if you can escape lane as Brew, of course, he's always been known to be very strong if you do. And I find right now that you can do that in quite a lot of games.
You know, some of the heroes that used to counter him too, like Clockwork, for example, if you switch to the purple stance, you can just Brew split. Like a lot of the heroes that like countered Brew, the Silences, the Lions, the Instant Hex, it's like you're hexing a guy with like 80% potentially status resistance. Like, good luck, bro. Like, this guy is getting split off in every fight. No Blink Dagger. I don't think I've seen a Brew Blink Dagger in like a year. The hero doesn't need it.
Yeah, he's near unkillable.
And not just the utility of that, I feel like Primal Split as a spell has kind of gone in two directions now, where yes, you have this great team fight, you have a way to kite the carry by throwing him up in the air for a whopping 8 seconds, I believe. We've seen a lot of Brews just play split push when the game gets hard. You can use your Brewlings to just take down towers, and often in these really high intensity games, Brews will just be making solo plays in the enemy base, and it's really, really hard to punish that, because what do you do when he's just split? You can't TP your whole team to try to deal with the Brewlings.
This is the Silencer's Gambit again right here. I swear to God, you see Brew plus Dawn, and it's like, go ahead, pick Coddle Silencer. We'll do what we did to you last game.
It's very possible they mentioned in draft we can try to bait this Silencer Coddle again.
If they pick a third hero that's also countered by Silencer, this is like the most next level weird drafting I've seen.
I think there's a significant difference in this one, is that they have this Fen. Like they can play, like if they want to play the Silencer Coddle again, they can run it again behind some kind of Spirit for GPK on the mid lane, and they can just focus around that while Sven's just happily farming away. Troll doesn't necessarily get the same treatment, and he's not capable of the same amounts of flash farming.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Dave, the stack farmer.
Both Coddle and Silencer are very good at making stacks, and Gyro and Sven are already out, so there's not really any good stack takers for EG left. So it already looks like a much better start for Betboom, I think.
Okay. The Lion comes out.
And also, as you're saying with Brewmaster, the split push, I think a lot of Brews are playing Midas Radiance, very greedy builds, and he scales really well. So you just, you run the side lane, you're kind of unkillable, because if anyone, they need 3 people to come to force your ulti, and even if they bring 3, you're not going to die. So they've wasted a gank to force your ulti, and you're pressuring the tower and farming like crazy meanwhile. And then, I guess like minute 40, and as you say, you just push racks, you take racks by yourself, and they can't do anything about it, because you just send one panda away. And if those 3 die, who cares? You go back to the other panda. It's just so hard to deal with.
That is so true. The
That is
amount
very
of times
frustrating.
recently in pubs where there's just a brew raxing, we literally cannot kill the pandas. Like you need a specific like archetype of carry to do it. You need, and it's the ones that get banned. It's like Gyro. Like Gyro can kill the pandas.
Yeah.
With his like Daedalus and Flak and stuff.
And even if you do manage to kill the pandas, Brew is not dead. So
Yeah, the
it's
wind
not-
panda
doesn't
that ran off.
it doesn't even
way-
feel that good. A lot of the time, you have to bring a 3-man gank just to force his ulti rather than kill him.
Yeah. He switches to purple. He gets the ult off anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's an insane hero.
And also Ursa, who kind of was the
Yeah, welcome back. Woo!
can still be viable now, but isn't as popular or as effective in a draft as he used to be, which solved a lot of the problems that this hero had in terms of laning phase. I feel like the best way to play versus this brew is have your mid laner rotate to him while he's still weak, right? Just that first primal split, if you can react to it, that first primal split on your carry actually has a lot of counterplay if you're ready. Like the TP ins, it's kind of similar to Doom of the olden days where teams were ready, they acknowledged that this
За юу болж байна?
and we have to be watching our safe lane. But after that, you're very reliant on some bat rider.
Draft эхэлсэн нэг талдаа Invoker бандж жагаад Brew Master хэрэглүүлчих GG.
Straight up killing him.
Нөгөө талдаа Sven-ийг нь булаачжээ Betboom.
Storm Spirit, I think this
Ханаас нь Kotl, Storm Spirit.
has a lot of potential. The issues that they had last draft, do you think they still have it, Ari?
I think the draft is quite similar, but they don't have the same issues.
Lion-тэй Puck,
Because
Dawnbreaker-тэй.
I think EG won't be able to get a stack farmer on the same level as they had last game with Sven. And the Kotl Phoenix is not so punishable if they don't have to invade. If they're allowed to play their side and make stacks, they're
Том сонирхолтой draft.
Storm.
Багуудын сүүлчийн бам болон сүүлчийн pick орж ирэхэд бэлэн болсон.
Into Sven matchup, very good. And Lion can now suck mana into Medusa.
Yeah,
you're
it's
actually a
a
mana battery for
possibility, but there are two bans still left. So if
Хүн байна уу guys? Хүн байна уу? Hello.
still strong enough to be played, then they will just ban her here, and I'm not sure what else there'll be left.
See what this last ban phase is super interesting. Like now the team that has the last ban also has to pick immediately out of the phase. So they have to they get to react to the two bans coming from the other side, reveal a little bit of
Hi.
information. So we'll see what gets revealed here. Night Stalker ban.
I mean,
They've got
that,
the
Yeah.
puck, I guess.
yeah, and it makes sense. Like any kind of squishy backline hero versus a Night Stalker who's not going to be punished in lane because you see the Sven, you know that his priority is going to be farming. They don't really have the.
За нэг талаас TB troll, нөгөө талаас Night Stalker бандагдсан.
Really gonna run at your Night Stalker early on. It makes a
Энэ
lot of
удаа
sense.
сүүлчийн бикний давуу тал Betboom-ийнхэнд байгаа.
Phoenix a little bit more. Ari. So typically the way we see Phoenix being played is he's more of a greedy support, right? He kind of sits on side lanes, pushes them out. We've seen Kn1Fe and his Hex Rush Phoenix.
Yeah, Kn1Fe
That's a
Phoenix
cool
is
guy.
very famous
Do
for
you-
his Hex Rush.
Do you think with a Phoenix like this, Betboom are saying that we're just going to play a little bit more defensively? We're just going to push side lanes. We're going to TP in if there are any kind of invasions on our Sven, or if there's going to be any kind of aggression coming out of the Phoenix, Kotl, and Storm in the mid game.
Most likely they'll be playing more of a defensive stacking game. You know, just out farm the
За
opponent,
ээжигийн
like, more
сүүлчийн
stack,
бан юу байх юм бол
more
доо.
efficiently. We might see some more like 2-man plays with Kotl Storm. Maybe they go to a side lane or they get a rune and fight mid. But other than that, I think they'll be playing mainly just for stacks and farming. And they're not too afraid like they were last game because the EG draft is not so scary if you just let them farm. It's not already a big deal. Like the puck needs kills to progress her game. She doesn't just farm creeps. And she's not likely to get that against these heroes, I think.
They also, right now, need an egg hitter on the side of EG, right? None of their heroes can comfortably kill this Phoenix Supernova. The supports are going to be busy doing other things, and the puck is going to be trying to control the Storm Spirit and the Kotl. So currently, I do see a Phoenix issue in terms of how EG are going to scale into the mid game or enter the mid game, how to team fight versus them. There's a big problem on their hands.
Yeah, the Phoenix looks like a very strong pick. I wouldn't hate seeing the Kn1Fe Hex Rush in this game. I feel like if you deal with this puck, they really run out of options.
Deals with the Morphling as well.
Yep.
Quite a
Demorphling дартж байгаа юм байна EG
bit of
дээр.
an instant catch issue from Betboom. Just once again, the supports in particular. Kotl.
Газийн Morphling
I
орж
do
ирж
like the
байгаа.
Hex Rush for that reason. Then you can follow up with
Нөгөө
the
талаас
stun, the Sven stun.
Betboom-ийн сүүлчийн бикний хөлбөрийг
Honestly, all
харцгаая.
three heroes on EG, you want to like lock down
Yeah.
really badly.
I like this morphling pick a lot out of EG. Outside of Pakaz being a sick morphing player, morphling once he gets that BKB comfortably waveforms in and just shreds that ag, right? So that is out of the way. Once he has the BKB2, he threatens the cuddle. He's no longer under threat by the Sven. He can turn into the Sven and steal the Warcry. And the primary
Зяг Tide Hunter.
Sven hits that timing is going to be physical. So now you have Warcry for your own team. You also have the disables coming out of Lion to hopefully make some plays on the Storm early on. So EG's got a nice thing going for them.
But EG don't have any stack farmers, so I think in a game where Betboom want to play passive and play for stacks and outfarm the enemy, EG won't be able to keep up with that because they don't have their own stack taker. So if EG can't be aggressive and find the early
Эхний map-ийн ялгчаар EG-ийнхэн тодорсон.
So how do you feel like they're faring in terms of lane?
Энэ драфт гэхдээ EG-д нэлээд ашигтай байггүй юу?
Snowball and just constantly run at them, invade their stacks, or do
Доромл галзуурчихгүй.
I think Betboom's lanes
Энд дэжгүй харагдаад байна.
I don't think EG will have an easy time snowballing from lanes and progressing the game to outfarm them. So
So-
Betboom favored draft, I think.
So what's their entry point if you're EG into this game?
I think you need to maybe get vision on enemy triangle to find the ancient stacks, and you also need to make some smoke plus twin gate move on the Sven to kill him. So he has no stacks and his lane's kind of messed up. This is the best option to shut them down, I think.
Okay, awesome.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will see if EG can invade Sven's jungle in this game with our casters right now. Goodbye.
Some great insight there coming through from the draft panel. And Bowie, getting into this one, we're looking at the lineups. Who are you favoring to come through in the second game?
Oh, yeah. I'm still listening to Kn1Fe, by the way, so it's a bit hard to think, but I do favor Betboom with this draft. I think they have very good heroes that's Sven into Brewmaster. It's... Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so confused with this voice in my head. But yeah, the Sven against Brewmaster is super strong, and I think they, they're very confident in the Storm. They draft pretty much...
Are you hearing? Because I'm not hearing anything. Like,
yeah, now actually it fixed for me. But yeah, I really like what they have here, stealing that Sven away. Even though Pakaz had a good game one, I think the Morphling just doesn't farm at the same speed that the Sven is able to. So I'm very curious to see if Pakaz can really deliver the same level of gameplay that he had without, was resorting to stacks, because he's not really going to be able to abuse them as much as they did in game one. Overall, though, I can still see EG winning, but it's just an overall better draft. This Brewmaster, as strong as it is, it's against this Sven. So we're going to see a Brewmaster that has a good laning stage, but unless they really pressure Sven here, it doesn't matter that the Brewmaster gets a good laning stage, because those brews are going to be food for Nightfall.
okay, well, we'll see how it is going to fall. And you know what the best part of this draft is?
Энэ боо хоёр тоглолт guys. Энэ тоглолтын дээр аль нь ч ялсан дуусна гэсэн үг. Group stage-ийн тоглолт оноо цуглуулах зэрэг.
Betboom train now.
I mean, I was always on the Betboom train, but yeah, getting into this.
За Bounty rune. Kn1Fe 2-2.
The Phoenix might be that
2-2 гэж авч байгаа юм байна.
as well, so I'm interested to see how that's going to play out. And I just think that it's a better lineup for Betboom coming into this one. They've still got the Storm Spirit as well that's going to be able to hopefully offer a bit of impact. The only thing I'm not sure about is how it's going to play up against like the Storm Spirit going to be playing up against the Dawnbreaker as well as that Morphling. If he is going to be able to find those quick pickoffs that GPK needs to get some early momentum going.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit scared for GPK, not gonna lie.
Нас смайлыг харъя.
Sven is pretty much prime.
Гол дээр маш олон зүйл болно доо.
Lion Puck. This is so scary for GPK. The coil.
Акив ер нь бол геймдээ контрлох гэсэн энийг стейждээ Storm-ийн өдөөс нилээн тухгүй тоглоодох шиг байна.
Save of the Phoenix.
Matthew Dottle дээр
Way too much burst damage, I believe, if the game is.
амар хангалж тэ.
The laning stage.
Burst Spike-ийг гараа явах гэж оролцсон.
Relatively good for them. You have this Brewmaster against the Sven, and Phoenix is not really a problem at all for the Brew. So I'm curious to see. Will Whisper
Эзмэ. Юу вэ да?
Midas like we saw in the first series.
Matthew Dottle дээр Phoenix-тэй ер нь энэ Dennis гадар уулзч чадахгүй лайны хувьд бол MS TP-дэд харих шаардлагатай болсон. Тэтэл дээр
first blood.
Anda өгч байна.
But yeah, that was a decent pickup there coming through, and you've got to think that Picasso
Хилний харьцаа нэг нь болсон.
he's taking a lot more damage, trying to get that strength morph off, but got to be careful about how far he goes with that, because save if he gets another illuminate off. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Toronto, Tokyo, does he go down? Fairy Fire comes through. Whisper trying to get on top of him. Matthew trying to turn it around there as well, but those fiery spirits, it's just slowing him right down, and it looks like Toronto, Tokyo is going to be able to get out alive.
Okay. Pretty good start here for Betboom in terms of the laning stage. Storm also doing a good job with
Pure багцтай ажиллаж байгаа.
CS score. Pure though did take a lot for us.
Хаад яг геймдээ гоё гэж лавж байгаа бох. Тэрнээс
Even though
Марцофи өөдөөс нь тайд дарж болохгүй л ахaltaа.
because he has a lot of base damage and the percentage reduction works wonders. The first levels could be a bit challenging.
Дээрээс нь Pure-тэй өөрт нь бас тухтай атрыг
I
нөхч.
think just looking at the storm threat here as well, because I mean, in the last game he got behind anyway because thanks to the rotations, had to go into a BKB. Do you think he gets to go back for like the offensive, build into the Sanjin Kaya, get that Orchid at some point, maybe get a Lincoln Sphere to help out a little bit, but for the most part, get those kind of like jumpy items that you usually see on the storm.
Spring Brew Master.
Yeah,
Nightfall-ийн хувьд бол энэ удаа Sven-ээр тоглож.
see too much of a change. Maybe this is a Linking's game here for the Storm.
3 дахь минутны Lotus-н дээр бол тоглож явагдаж байна.
Cut it once there's a Blink Dagger.
Олдер GPK last hit-ээр илүүрсэн.
We'll see. It really depends on the momentum here. The GPK is able to acquire in the laning stage. Ismail taking some heat, taking some pressure, which is this is Storm favored lane. It used to be more even, I think, but Storm got a lot of buffs and not really the same thing. I guess lane buffs and Puck got a lot of stat nerfs.
Яг Котлын хувьд бол Panda дээр цогцолтыг үзүүлж хагаад
A couple of the heroes.
Dawnbreaker-ыг хойшлохт нь хойдол дээр пул хийчихэж байгаа юм байна.
You still have the
Хамгийн шаардлагатай байсан пулийг хийлээ.
go for the Morphling when that starts to come out, when you starts to go for the morphs. If he does go back for the
Хоёр захь дээр бол илүү их last hit-н дээр ажилласан тоглолтууд явагдаж байгаа.
being able to block that
Nightfall
you know, maybe into something
эхний айтмаар бол Belt-ийг авчихсан.
even
Хонос нь Power Threads,
a decent amount of heroes.
Mask of Madness, Sabrex айтмуудыг бол Quick Bind-а хийчихсэн байх шаардлагатай.
Yeah, there's a fair amount. I'm assuming the best one
Тань уу?
is the Phoenix is not bad. You can get the dive, you can get the attacks low.
Yeah.
But there's no transformation that is amazing, right? Sometimes there's the wind wings, there's the spirit breaker. Those are like even
Хоёр support. Дөрөв дэх нотны рүүнийг бол хоёр талаас нь шахаж өгсөн сая. EG-гээс. Үгүй Бакаци дээдэл дээр яагаад урсч орж ийн? Доотлол дээр Торонто Токиос нэлээ өвөө байдалтай. Икарос давын дээрээс гарч явсан. Фласктай.
Taking a whole lot of damage for that.
Дээдэл дээр Бакаци юу болж ийн? За 20 мэжигтэй юм байна. Атрибьютэ шилжүүлж хагаад мэжигэд орчнаа.
Rework on it that gives you the hero illusion with you know, you can effectively cast the spells as well from the illusion.
Yeah. Maybe split pushing wise, like that reminds me a lot of the old Morphling, right? The one that you would just get an illusion and split push a lot. Maybe that's something he intends to do. I have not seen too much Morphling in this patch. I think the hero like
Тэгээ тоглолтын 5 дахь минут.
knew how to play the old Morphling. This one, okay, they will get the lion there. Overall,
Yun
Betboom
nasa.
is getting a lot of wins in the lane, but Toronto will fall.
Is he? Yeah, okay, he was fast enough for the Whisper to get that last right click off and get the kill onto Toronto, Tokyo. Nightfall, yeah, he's still finding the farm though, top.
Яг дээдэл дээр Wayform орж ирсэн.
Tier 1 tower here, being able to throw
Pure.
out Pacaz.
Үлээгээд Баказ.
Really careful about the illuminate damage coming through there as well, and Pure. Yeah, this is
Яа Баказ ямар хэцүү байдал дээр тоглоод байна.
have some sort of
Хай.
base damage. Pure on the Titan, so he's just really happy to sit on the lane. He's even got himself the heal coming through now. He already picked up the Ring of Health, so he doesn't need to worry about getting too low health-wise. He's got the mana coming back, you know, full perseverance coming through as well as a Cottle giving him the mana back anyway. He feels like, you know, a fish in water here.
Yes, ууг нь тэгж бодоод л өгснээр харсан.
All that damage.
Yeah, interesting thing happening in
За 6 дахь минутны рүүнийг харцгаа. Энэ рүүн л ер нь Spirit гол дээр тоглож байгаа Spirit-ийн 6 дахь минутны рүүн маш чухал.
has a level advantage.
Тэгэд хилж амжаагүй доотлол дээр shield гараад ирлээ дээ.
No time, so there's an opening for a level 6 primal split with a
Good call.
rotation to kill Nightfall. He just grabbed his level 5 now, and I wonder if that's the place
So-
where Whisper gets his 6. Someone can collapse in this lane and get a kill. Despite the pretty big advantage that they are having on EG, it's like bruise the bottom of the cores and Sven.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on those rotations because it does seem like Toronto Tokyo feels a little bit more comfortable to.
Ойрд орж ирэх хэлмэгч гинэ үгүй. Ойрд орж ирэхгүй байгаад хар чи ингээ хэлмэгдүүлж явж байгаа шүү. Бай орж ирэхгүй бол чамааг ер нь гараал явлаа. Ер нь байхгүй орон чи их. Пенсион юм яриа л үт юм билээ. Хүүг ингэдэг тэгдэг яадаг гэдэг чинь. Би бол нэг өмөр айтмаар л байгаа өө гэдэг. Өмөрөгдөхгүй юм байл. За Nightfall-ыг алсан. Хилний харцаа адил хоёрлсан.
And that's big because this is a kill without Primal. Now he gets his 6, and I'm pretty sure it's quite scary for Sven to TP back to this lane. He doesn't have his 6. He's gonna struggle to farm any stacks before he gets a couple of extra items.
Тэтэл тэр pure шилээ зүтсэн сайхан. Явж өгч. Битор аавна гэж байгаа. Энэ оронд Pakaz Wave farm дээрээсээ болол. Юурийн дахиад бол олчихж байгаа.
Let's see what he's going to. He's actually going to go for the Morbid Mask right off the top there.
Nightfall.
So he's going to be coming in. Does he actually want to go for this underneath the tier 1?
Power дээр цохилд орж ирэхэд нь Storm амир хийцээ. Нэмээд Storm Spirit бууж байгаа. Electric Vortex-н дээрээс Sunray зяа өлтөөгөө кастлж яхад наалаад амжиж байгаа юм байна да. Снэр хилний харцаа 3-2. Дотл дээр бол нэлээд ажгүй. EP cover орж ирлээ.
When he had that split up and available to him.
Yeah, honestly, I think he's fine with that. There is so many TPs and rotations. He still has the split, by the way, so he could come back and get a kill on Sven. But now, Viper.
Yeah, амар шидсэн. MP л амжилттай. Хойлон дээрээс лийшлсэн байгаа бол Sunray дээрээс цусыг нь нөхөд байгаа. Silence цусыг нь багсаж байгаа. Оо, сүүлчийн моментн дээр маш гоё. Silence орж ирлээ. Active-ийн Silence. Багтаа бол 3 дахь киллийг авчирсан бол захаад CV-г алчих боломжтой. CV-г зүгээр сайхан зодоолчихж байгаа юм байна. Reach Lucky нэг kill. 4-4 гэсэн kill нь ярьцаа. Эдл дээр Power Rune. Ken Rune өснөг бол Toronto Tokyo очоод авцсан байгаа да. Toronto Tokyo гуталгүй явж их юм. Тоглолтын 9 минут эхлэх гээд байдаг уу? Энэ эдл дээр Tide-ийг юуг хөөгчих болов гэсэн чи яг үндэ Morphling бүр амар аюултай нөхцөлд тоглоод. Ягаад?
Do you want with Nightfall being
Toronto's
top of the net worth,
stack орж ирэх.
Stacks over to the Tide Hunters, you know, to maybe get a quick blink dagger or something like that.
Байтгүй мөн л адилхан багталж чадсан.
I don't think so. I think you really want to enable the Sven. Maybe the Storm can get the large camp ones just because his timings are very important. But I don't believe the Tide should be yoinking those ones. Yeah, there you go. GPK gets the large camp ones and it will eventually give the rest to the Sven.
And stack-ыг GPK farm.
Yeah, fair enough. It's going to get the Storm Spirit. Looks like his power threats to come out there as well.
Very strengthтэй. Or traits бэлэн болж байгаа.
Matthew and Panda though, they are looking a night.
Ийм модоор яхаа ажил төрөл үзэж чадахгүй төвтөө өмнө авсан дээр гинэ. Манай анхны мод ч тийм байж игээч. Ой бэлэгдлийн чанартай.
So if he's on his game, he might be able to. Yeah, he's going to both of them and just pulls himself away.
Яа юу вэ? Сая Вардан дээр нь зогсож байгаа Вар зооцсон уу? Сая баг мэдээллийг нь авчих шиг боллоо доо. Дарвин Power-ын дуудахгүй гарч ирж байгаа.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's see.
Smile. Хойлцсон. Blind Light дээрс түлхсэн байгаад байгаа. За зиплээ дамжчих юм байна. Save-ийн гой тоглолттой лээ save. Дараагийн айтмаар өөртөө бол force staff on гэсэн юм.
That's just going to be the Panda being back to the full form save, not taking a whole lot of damage. The unsplit comes through, and it looks like who did get it? Smile gets the illusion rune, but no major kills as Pure trying to chase down. Gets Pakaz's courier at least.
Yeah, they tried to
Пакийн вичплейд бэлэн болсон байгаа гэж.
Coil is just a shadow of what it used to be, and you really want to kill that storm, but really good bump by the Coil, forcing the pandas away, allowing GPK to live. Nightfall starting to accelerating farm. We can see the difference already. Unable to keep up in farm. Sometimes you even see the Midas on Morph, but this is not really what they're trying to go for. Only a Manta. Gonna get the disjoint on the Stormhammer as well as the Dispel on the Spirits.
Yeah, we'll see. Even Pure looking really good in terms of his farm. He's already got himself the Meme Hammer coming out there for the Tide Hunter, so looking to put some pressure on buildings, and he's sitting just above in terms of net worth. It is bouncing around, it's that close. Lowest in terms of cores is the Storm Spirit here, so GPK maybe looking to just get some He's going to be able to get the jump. Did you get it?
За, Икарус давын дээрээс өндөг дарагдсан. Висприйг унгаж амжих уу? Solar Guard-ын орж ирсэн ууг нь бол нөгөө талаас Blinding Light-ын дээрээс Nation түлхсэн ч гэсэн Solar Guard-ын эффектэн дээрээс бол нэмэгдэж чадсангүй дээ. Виспер амьд үлдсэн л гэж орж ирж байна. Торонто Токио юу ч гэсэн Санрэ гэдэг амжих нь гэсэн Magic давж байгаа өргөж хараа цогчж байгаа юм байна. Яа. За энэ орон дээр нь Tide Meteorтой голын таврыг авч явах хэрэгтэй доо.
Damage was able to keep everyone alive. That Brewmaster is so tanky, and that's the thing. Even when this hero is struggling, just the passive and the fact that you get that the brew with his W allows him to live for so long. Either the status resistance or the evasion, both are amazing at buying time, soaking damage. He didn't had brew split there, and they still kill 2 heroes on the side of battle.
Nightfall. Network-ийн нэгч явж байгаа. Madden Sabre-тэй.
He will hit his timings really quickly. This Morphling, he's gonna need to, like, his way into this game is actually winning some fights. You can't really trade farm with Sven as Morphling and get on top.
Ooh, line stack авч ийн. Энэ бас их гоё сонголт юм те. Line-ы блинкийг эрт гаргаж ирэх. Line-ы хувьд бол уг нь фингертэй. Харагдсан Баатар өөрөө киллер чих юм бол алчих гад. Дагертай алчих гад.
If you get the farm, it doesn't matter how far ahead the rest of the team are. If you can come in be that raid boss, you can.
Андрын нэг левелтэй болохоор орохгүй л дээ. Энэ HP-ний усны хуваар дэмэжлдэг скил тэгээд нэг левелтэй. Яг хотлаалах шиг. Андрын ер нь явандаа л амар ардсан шүү.
Definitely. We do see that the lion is very close to his blink dagger. This is going to be a timing for him to play with his bio, get some kills. Everyone can dive besides maybe the Tide and the Sven.
Yeah, Blinding Light амжилттай.
They did get that point.
Өөрөөгөө дахиад eliminate-н дээрээс бол ууг нөхсөн.
Yeah, you can see the GPKs jumping in. Maybe
Одоо эндээс
they're going to try and scare away the
амьд үлдэж байгаа гэж орж ирж байна да.
Matthew's going to be backing him up. The unsplit's going to be coming out in the next couple of seconds. So they get the panda out safely. Yeah, Matthew backing him up, but Whisper, that's the second split on save that he's not really been able to find any kills.
Yeah, Panda.
He might be just trying to snipe this wisdom rune from the tree. He's got to be careful.
Энийг фармж байгаа мэдээллийг авцсан. 14-ийнх нь Wisdom-ыг авах гэдэг да Panda.
Single-handedly countered the brew here. He just pushes all the pandas away.
Oh, Panda.
Oh, Nightfall.
Does he see him? He's away. Okay, he's away.
Okay, all right.
Доотлол дээр акшн болж байгаа. Dawnbreaker Solar Guard-д арчлаа. Phoenix-ийг фингертэй далчж байгаа юм байна. Киллиг нэгтээ Panda авч ийн. Гойл амжилттай Ravage-ыг задлсан. За энэ бол Storm-ыг аврах гэсэн зорилготой Ravage байсан боловч аварж бол чадсангүй. Нэмээд Pact-ээр тоглолтыг хийсэн боловч өөрөө бол өгч байгаа бох. Betboom-ийнх нь нэлээд гойжчлаа доо. Нэлээд л гойжчлаа.
It just they get 3 kills out of it as well, but that's just still space being created here for the Sven.
Эний хөдөлгөөнөөр нэг л хотлоо авчлаа.
Yeah, they're definitely overplaying their hands. You have 3 heroes going to the enemy wisdom room, you get it, and you still force a fight under a tier 2 tower. Obviously there's going to be no.
Хожин гэж орж ирж гинөө. Ер нь draft дуусаал нэг юм хэлчихэл тэгэл чимээг болчиход байгаа шүү. Тоглолтыг ер нь яах тухай бодож байгаа юм аа.
Shuts down Toronto really hard. He didn't even get the egg off in that fight.
It looks like the Tide going to be coming back into the lane here, trying to just defend this tier 1 tower. You can see that the 3 cores here from the side of EG just behind the Sven in terms of net worth, but they are stepping up now. Could be a big jump.
Panda. Амар шидэ гараа явсан. Тэрийг ч гэсэн хамаагүй алчж байгаа юм байна. Force staff гоё орж ирсэн ууг нь. Тэгтэл line-ы blink эрт гараад ирсэн болохоор Storm Spirit-д маш том лай болоод наа. Юурэндээс Ravage байхгүй. Whisper гэж саал хийсэн бодолтой. Артал дээр Торонто Токиог бол Пака зөхөд алчж байгаа юм байна.
Taking a lot of damage. Dream Call has been used. Nightfall. He's taking low to the Spirit Vessel, but does he want to carry on going? He has that Mask of Madness, so he can get his health back.
All right, so they trade Storm for. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty decent trade, I would say. You lose the Panda that didn't have Brew Split, but at the end of the day, finally Sven actually helping the team. It felt like Betboom for the last 2 fights. We're kind of forcing things a little bit too much, and the Sven does decisively win and end that fight.
Yeah, and we can see Smile going to be able to get himself a double damage rune here as well. Let's see if he wants to make a play with that immediately. He's got his blink. I mean, the dream call's not up for 30 seconds, so maybe
Зүйл
he's just gonna
marketing.
hang about, wait for that to come back.
Тоглолтын эхэнд ер нь EG-ийн драфтыг харчаа EG-д илүү боломжтой байна гэж хэлсэн. Би гол нь тэгээд хэлэхээр заримдаа алдчихад байгаа юм.
But now the Morphin after that fight, he's not too far behind this one.
Yeah. He's keeping up with
Энэ тоглолт ихтэй болоогүй шүү. Эсвэл ер нь network нэлээд сайн байгаа шүү.
He's working.
Өрөөнийх шиг бас саваа ичж магадгүй.
Magic is definitely allowing him to stay on top. Even without Midas, by the way, as we will see a smoke.
Asweny чиглэсэн smoke. Ял олж авч чадсангүй.
Be playing around this
Дээрээс нь Asweny BK битээ. Иймэрхүү rotation-ыг бол өөдөөс нь counter initiate хийхэд нэлээд сайн баатаргаад байгаа. Storm Spirit-с эхэлсэн. Silence орж ирсэн. Salar Garden, Finger, Matthew-ийг kill орж ирлээ.
throws out the finger to secure the kill, and the Phoenix
Нөгөө талаас өндөг дарагдсан байгаад байгаа.
won't be in range now. Toronto Tokyo could be in
Whisper, Wesel-дэд ороод ирсэн.
Chase comes out. Whisper, he wants to go for this one. The Ghost Trance comes out.
Энэ оронд Matthew-ийг бол BK дарж байгаа алчж байгаа юм
Is
байна.
around
Sven.
available here, but Whisper with the split. And they're going to come through this Phoenix. Can he get himself away? The force staff comes out. Toronto Tokyo on the high ground. It looks like the Sven, he wants to get involved, but there will be the tornado to push him up into the air. And do they want to go for more? Because again, the split will be wearing off. Is he going to be able to get himself away here? Whisper, was that Stormhammer?
Whisper өөрөө өгөөд
Whisper
тавцсан.
going to be slowed down. Solar Bind comes through. The Illuminate damage now as well. Nightfall.
За эндээс бол Whisper гарч явж чадахгүй.
All going to be here. These hammers being dropped on top of this, and just look how much time as well. Whisper.
Kill-ийг нь pure авч байгаа.
Couldn't find the angle to get the kill.
3K network-ны lead. EG дээр байсан ивэрэ.
Wow, that fight was very interesting from
Энэ оронд Pakaz Dotling Tower-ыг авч байгаа юм байна.
Lion had the blink dagger to jump the storm, but he used the fire spirits to cancel the blink, so he forced the coil into the silence, but even still they have that burst damage. And once again, that Betboom Storm just not having the same success that we saw from 9Pandas. They are forcing this for a second time, this time addressing the brew with the Sven, but I don't really think they protected GPK enough. It's so easy for the Lion, the Puck to get on top of him.
Yeah, and we're seeing that maybe he does. I mean, he's already got that orchid being built, but maybe he does want to get a look at this.
Зя Panda.
Though he's going to be hunted.
Энэ
He is going to be
support downbreaker тоглогдохоор нөгөө нэг action болж байгаа талбай эсрэг талд нь ер нь хөвчлэн wave гаргаж тоглодог. Иймээс Storm Spirit downbreaker дээр өөр төрлийн тоглолтыг хийхэд бол нэлийн амархан байгаад байна л да.
Radiance is going to be Whisper's next item. Definitely good against the Reckless.
За Пакийн Хикстэй ажлын гейм дээр бол өстэй яалтчгүй Storm-ыг барьж авал Storm-ыг байнгын шийдэх байгаад байгаа.
That the Lion with the Glimmer Cape blink already up. EG, I think they have pretty much everything.
Энэ жилийн TI cast яах бол түрүү жилийнх шиг ээлжлээ. Энэ жилийн TI-ийн cast-ыг юу ч гэсэн Below юун дээр яг одооных шигээ пэйж дээр YouTube, Facebook хоёр дээр зэрэг цана. Яах юм бол энэ бол сайн мэдхгүй л. За Hex орж ирсэн. Whisper-ыг бол сөрөн дээр наалж чадаагүй. Өлтийн уншихад 3 секунд. Уншихад 3 секунд. Objective дээр тоглолтыг гүйцэтгэх юм бол багийн нэг гишүүнд битгэх юм бол эндээс Brew Master өлтөйтэй тоглоход бол маш гоё тогттой байгаад байгаа. Matthew эндээс Smoke-тай. Finger болон өөрийнх нь initiate хийх скиллнүүд нь бол бэлэн байгаад байгаа. Тоглолт Nightfall-ыг үзүүлсэн. Тэнд Smoke-ын задарсан мэдээллийг авсан да. Matthew юу хийв? Хараагүй юм бахта сая. Хилинг гисэнгүү. Thanks дээр бол Matthew шийтгүүлсэн.
The kill just to make sure he definitely does go down here. See Smile just playing underneath the T2 and Whisper's just like, you know what, mate? Yeah, you can deal with that. I have other things to do elsewhere. But Whisper, Meteor Hammer's going to come through just to try and finish off this tier 1 tower. He does get the deny though, just to be extra cheeky on the Brewmaster.
Oh yeah, Whisper, very annoying player.
Тэгээ тоглолтын киллний ярьцаа 10-12-тай. 20 дахь минут үргэлжилж. Network-ийн нэгт Morphling 13,000 голтой. Анис нь Swim бол 500 голтны хөдөл дээр. Дараагийн айтны сонголтоор Sealer гэж явна гэсэн бодлоо. Тоглолт гүйцэтгэж байгаа да.
That's pretty much why I play offlane. Because I get to be annoying as possible and no one can call me toxic.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the Orchid, as you said on Storm, allows him to kill the Lion, even the Puck, but it makes his build very open for initiations as well. So Betboom, they have to play tight alongside the Storm. Right now he's by himself, but TG, they don't necessarily know about it.
It looks like the Storm Spirit's going to. Oh, Matthew, you've got to be careful though. Make sure you don't get soloed.
Just your standard carry player. The support's like, wait, I'm gonna get out.
Yeah,
Gus
I mean,
just kills him, but gives him a shard at least.
I was worried about the line. I wasn't even paying attention to the Dawnbreaker's health there.
За хэлж байсанчлан Dawnbreaker дахиад л
So it was more than one.
акшн болох газраас эсрэг зүгтэн тоглоод байгаа да. Тиймээс барьж алахад маш хялбархан байгаад Dawnbreaker-ыг унгаасан.
Yeah, Ramses just wasn't bothered about sports and
EG 6K network-ны лидтэй. Юу л авцсан байгаа пак ууг нь Orchid-н дээрээс өөрийгөө хамгаалах dispel-х item. Гэхдээ саяны тохиолдолд Storm Hammer-аар эхлүүлж байгаа хойноос нь Electric Vortex хараад ирлээ.
By surprise, he even has a ward there in the stairs, so he definitely felt safe just hitting that those creeps under his tower. Good moves from Nightfall once again, being very impactful, and they're going to be able to get to a Roshan. Unless Pakas has something to say about this, but he's
Шан байгаа.
time as EG to really connect to him.
how much do you like the Shadow Blade for the Sven coming over instead of something like the Blink Dagger? You're both being used to close the gap, but usually you do see that Blink turn into a Swift Blink. Morphin's gonna get involved. Does he get 5 heroes in here? Because is he gonna push everybody out? They still don't have a puck for a couple of seconds here, and I think it was just the pure shock of this. The split comes out, so the Stormhammer, it was actually Morphin still in the Sven's Swarm. They want to get back into the pit here. The smoke is up. You've got that tornado going though onto the Tidehunter. The Tidehunter doesn't have a blink, so he's gonna have to waddle himself into this one if he wants to get a Ravage off from Whisper. The Unsplit will be coming out soon here from this Panda. He's gonna be going right back to that Brewmaster form in the next couple
За
of
бидэн
seconds.
дээр акшн болох боломжтой. Ravage авгаа ороод ирвэ. Solo Garden дээрээс маш тайжгүй байлдаа болсон доо. Storm Spirit-ийг унгааж байгаа хасхныг хийгээд эхэлсэн байгаа уг нь. Storm-аас buyback орж ирэх боломжтой ч гэсэн buyback бол хийхдэггүй байгаа даа. Нөгөө талаас Dawnbreaker-ыг унгаасан. Пакац тэд баанаачгүй цусчгүй юучгүй гараа явсан бодвол юулэн дээрээсээ харин цаг хожиж өгч чадлаа. Пак Sweeney Kite-снаар Morphling амьд үлдсэн.
Mention this, and that's going to be a long fight. Only trading the Storm Spirit out for the Dawnbreaker, and maybe given.
Өөрөө ч гэсэн амьд үлдэж байгаа юм байна.
Matthew, does he want to get brave and go back into this one? That's going to be the pop on Roshan. A couple of seconds, he gets himself in. He gets the kill. He does. He gets
Matthew. Yeah.
8 out of 8. He gets everything from this.
Ямар амар тоглолт хийвдээ Matthew.
He gets dead in the end.
Сайжчих бүр Roshan-ын гоолтыг хүртэл авчиж байгаа юм байна шүү дээ. Snatch биш. Үх.
Dude, South American players are something else. Like
Rage маш ашигтай тоглолт болсон саяных бол.
by himself, he buys time for all of this. They even kill GPK during that fight. They don't lose anyone but the Dawnbreaker, and they steal the Aegis. Like
Хөрмөнтөр тунсан за sorry.
It's-
Яажуудлаар нь хальт цэнэглэлтэй хийсэн чинь
It was just the
акшн болчихлоо.
that dude must be walking around with a wheel.
Бэнд харъя.
And look at this, yeah, he's just hiding himself in the trees. It gets low. He times this
Matthew.
absolutely perfect for the jump in, and he gets it with the earth. Gets the kill, picks up the Aegis. Everyone else is.
Ямар гой таймигт орж байгаа Matthew.
The tips start to fly.
Амар.
That's like he actually jumped at a perfect time. I honestly don't know how pro players do it. Like every time, it seems like they have this.
Энэ гол нь саяны хулгай гэж орж ирэхгүй л дээ. Хулгайч нь болохоор яг нэг өрсөлдөгч баг нь юугаар Roshan аваад өнгөт өөр багаас snatched буюу яг нөгөө шүүрхийг нэлж байгаа. Саяны одоо шүүрэлт нь мөн л дээ. Гол нь тэр impulse-ний damage-ээр Roshan өөр авцсан байгаа болохоор хулгай гэж орж ирэхгүй л бах та. Age snatch гэдэг тийг л яриад тах шиг шүү дээ.
They really made them struggle to get Roshan, forcing a lot of plays, and now all of the timings of this Sven, I think, are slowly wearing off. Nightfall is still very.
За Nightfall дараагийн өдрийн сонголтоор
He needed to be a little.
Harpoon авна гэсэн бодолтой явж байгаа бол эндээс харин Link орж ирж байна. Pakazas.
Something is left unchecked to keep on farming. This matchup starts becoming pretty rough for this man because he gets stopped off too fast. He gets kited. You know, we already saw the kiting problem in fights.
Yeah, and EG after how they went down to TSM yesterday, you know, I thought this might be a draw or Betboom being favoured, but you know, maybe they've shook off the jet lag and they're ready here. EG, they're looking incredibly impressive coming into the second series, the second day, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the games. But Betboom just struggling at the minute. 3K net worth lead here for EG, and like you say, Nightfall, it just feels like this big advantage Sven gets from having that early cleave, it's just all worn off.
Yeah, I mean they have a lot of scaling with their supports, right? Kotto can get a
Sia Тайд шаардтай, Котл шаардтай, Phoenix шаардтай.
Ooh, do they want to go for this?
Дором амир өөр дөр нь бол хувилж байгаад оруулсан.
Comes in Whisper, he wants to
Яа лайн тэнд амар гоё байдалтай яваад энэ да. Impel X харангуулчлаа. Impel хийсэн. On-breaker ultimate-н дээрээс Nightfall-ыг юужсэн BKB-тэй явахт нь стандарт Kite-X модалтай явж байгаа бол Brew Master Wesley-г өгж байгаад Cinder Brew өргөжлүүлээд үлтийгээ дарцсан. Nightfall BKB байхгүй. Одоо Nightfall-ыг алхахад бол амархан байх болно. Нөгөө талаас өндөгт зар дарцсан байсан. Өндгийг нь бол зохиод алчиж байгаа юм байна. Nightfall-ыг буулгаад ирсэн. Detection байхгүй байгаа. Мэдрэмжээр хайндаа одоо бол Nightfall. Олцоо. Паказ. Adapt strike хийж чадсангүй.
That was really close, but yeah, will live. He could have actually used the adaptive strike, but probably didn't even expect this one to be there. And you can see like Pakas, he's not afraid of the burst damage of Betboom because not only he's very farm, but there's not that much burst.
Яа, саяныхыг Твэрийг алдсан болов. Бүрийг алах гэж шít.
To be able to get
Цэм шууд дээдлийн тавар.
walk with a glimmer cape, he gets all of the disables. The BKB piercing stun of the Dawnbreaker, locking down Nightfall. It was just a very awkward fight.
Боломжтой байсан да.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to be able to do anything here. I mean,
And Dawnbreaker гэдэг батар. Эсвэл ер нь жоохон дэмэжтэй болохгүй бол Dawnbreaker-т нэлээ олгуулад на.
Okay, he even throws out one of the taunts, but yeah, how do you expect Betboom now to be trying to get back in
Таргетлсан хүн дээр нь Solar Guard нь орж ирээд
before the fight really starts off?
өгч байгаагаас нь илүү дэмэжийг үзүүлж алж чадахгүй бол BKB-тэй явахт нь өөрөөр нь стандна гэж занал хийлээд нь. Маш төвхтэй.
I don't think Whisper is really easy to kill unless Sven is involved. But Puck and Lion, you know, they're squishy, and if you get a stun, like if that Shadow Blade stun of the Sven could follow up for the Storm to finish.
Lion дараагийн айтмаараа юу л авч
How
харах нь дээ.
possibly lock down the squishy ones inside of EG.
Okay, and we're going to see Toronto, Tokyo just going straight for the Hex here as well. So yeah, like you say, he wants that lockdown availability. We have the Silver Edge on the Sven, so extra right-click damage coming out for him. They're going to be able to get this D-Ward here as well. Save getting the golden credit for that. But it feels like EG
Kidney 13 тавтай.
sit back and farm up their next set of items.
Yeah, I think they really are feeling zero pressure. They understand that this Morphling matchup, he becomes so tanky. You don't really need any cooldowns to fight. Like your OT is fine. You use a Warcry, right? It's gonna help your team, but it's not necessary for Morphling to fight. And Sven, like you have to be very careful. You need to ult at the right time. Your BKB is so important, or else you get kited. You can be killed. I think EG is in a very comfortable position. It's on Betboom now with these supports to acquire enough farm, get those side of vices, and that's maybe how you kill Pakas, you kill Sismail in the late game fights.
Yeah, and
Save чинд
here, like you say, trying to farm up
Warden дээрээ сайхан wave гаргаад л бүгд энэ да.
the double hex coming out for those supports.
Энэс линк авнагцсан.
Glimmer Cape on
Линкийг нэ hex авнагцсан. Pocket link нь байхгүй. Pocket хувьд бол нөгөө Orchid-аас буюу Silence-наас өөрийгөө
big item you need to get that hex on board.
хамгаалах айтмаараа юу л авцсан байгаа даа basic dispelтэй. Тиймээс hex гараад ирэх юм бол Pocket хувьд нэлээ
Yeah, didn't need to go for that.
аюул мэдэрнэ.
The new axe, and he's already got the satanic out from that. We'll see what Keeper, if he wants to try and get involved around here. Roche, it's not up for at least a minute and a half, so they're just trying to maybe hand around, try and find a gank here. EG grouping up like.
За GPK BKB-тэй болцсон. Хойноос нь мөн л hex авч явах хэрэгтэй.
I like this play, removing that tier 2 tower, knowing that Roche
Brew Master бол нэлийн таргаар гэж шүү.
allows them to, despite the radiant advantage with that Roshan, make it a bit easier because you're only gonna have the outpost TP. You're not gonna have any other ways to really posture around that area.
Yeah, and let's see, Phoenix, he's already got himself the ultimate orb. How's Dawnbreaker? Dawnbreaker's just going straight refresher. So has Agcept Shard just straight up a refresher here for him? Whisper, how's he looking? Morphling just going to be able to solo this.
Dootlын тавар өрөөг нь бол цохиод авчиж байгаа юм байна.
Even with the fortification.
Яг одоо ингээд Dootle дээр action болж байгаа. Дээдл дээр Dawnbreaker линж ямар их харагдаж тоглоод байна да фандам нь. Өөрөө шидэд л wave гаргацдаг баатар. Энд маш их харагдаад байна. Тиймээс өөрөө шийдгүүлэх боломжтой. Яг саяны тохиолдол дээр бол шийдгүүлэх маш боломжтой байсан боловч шийтгэж бол чадсангүй.
It really needs to
Обжективтэй нэвтрхээ ойрхон байсан болохоор хүн типэдж магадгүй гэсэн айцтай бол байгаа даа.
That weight to lift the weight off Nightfall's shoulders, because at this stage I don't think this is a game that Sven can solo carry anymore. He's very farmed, but comparatively he's not.
Yeah, like you say, the items, the fact that he's been forced into might just hinder him a little bit. You've got Whisper.
За гейтэн дээр
Pipe Hand of Midas.
үлээсэндээ
Kind of his core items, you know, he's anything else is a bit of a bonus to him.
Smoke here.
Do they want to go the?
Broken by Sismile.
Yeah, Seasmile on the high ground is going to try and get the jump in. Doesn't actually go for the Dream Call. Just going to try and get that jump away. Pipe has been popped here. Smoke.
Смокын задарсан.
Do come through.
За гейтний вардаг хоёр талаас бол устгаад амжичлаа. Аль аль нь.
Okay, so they're just gonna feel each other up here. Whisper with that radiance, very hard to bring down. 3k HP.
Yeah, the Meteor
Get
Hammer is
the
going to
hammer.
land with the Hex. They're not going to be able to get the Storm Hammer coming out. Gets the Hex onto the Sven. The Sven throws out his BKB, and now there's going to be the
За
Storm.
Solar Guard норж ирсэн. Morphin BKB-тэй тоглолт. Нөгөө талаас Sven ч гэсэн God-аараа BKB-г дарцсан. BKB-ийн дуусмагц болоод Panda шууд хажуудлаар нь тоглоод эхэлчлээ. Өндөр дараад гараад ирсэн. Хөөе.
On the brew, even split formed. He's going to put into a little more.
Пакийг алдсан. Нэмээд Brew Master-ыг ультитэй явахтан зөхөд алчлаа.
Good kills here. Still going to be a minute before Roshan's back up. So EG.
За Betboom нэлээд том даваа талтай болчлоо шүү. Рашаа тоодохгүй буюу. Нэмэлт цагаараа 50 секундын дараа төрөх гэж байгаа.
So maybe Betboom don't get an easy Rosh out of this either.
Yeah, that looked very good for EG at the start. They forced the BKB on the Sven just to run away. But eventually, I think both the Bruin and Sismayo going a little bit too deep. And they feed two very important kills, allowing Betboom to get out on top. Ravage not used. So we'll see if EG can get back in control this Russian pit. I think they might not be able to. They're very far away.
Зэ тоглолтын 33
Fast.
минут бол эхэлсэн явж байгаа. Киллний харьцаа тэнцүү байгаа ч гэсэн хамгийн чухал нь
I mean,
matchup.
seconds before he respawns. Nightfall.
Morphling-ийн агним
Which
их OP байхаа болсноос хойш бол
he wants to go towards
Sven matchup нь илүү байх юм болов.
Satanic next, so you're obviously getting rid of that Mask of Madness. But what can you do after that for the Sven? Is it, you know, are you looking for maybe moonshards? Do you want to
Matchup гэхээс илүүтэйгээр Sven-ийн хувьд л өөртөө стантай болохоор яг одоогийн байдлаар хамаагүй илүү impact-ыг бол үздэг гээд байгаа.
you know, get the harpoon out?
Yeah, I think he's going to disassemble the Mon for the Satanic. Having the Dispel against the Silences is very nice. And later on, probably Harpoon is his choice. He can always buy the eggs, but ideally you want to get that from Roshan.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to wait until the very end. If they don't get that Rosh with the eggs, he might just eat the entire thing and use it as a 7 slot as pure. We'll break the ward right here.
Зя дахин нэг удаа. Рашаны зүг. Шагаасаа.
He's actually going to be recalled here by the.
Betboom smoke орж ирсэн.
He's going to be here pure, the only one broken in the smoke. And we'll see
За ямар байлдааны сонголтыг хийх харцгаая.
what they're going to try and do here.
Нөгөө талаас EG ч гэсэн смоклох боломжтой.
Well, you even have the
Downbreaker ulti бэлэн.
Storm Whisper. So that's a bit of a recovery there if he needs it. One charge on the Spirit Vessel, and we'll see if he's going to be able to survive in the Pandalin form coming through in this next fight.
Yeah, I think the ideal way to start this fight is use either Whisper or the Morphling as a bait. The Dawnbreaker's OT with the evasion should allow them to survive the initial volley of spells. And then
Яг
I think just trying to use the
гейтэндээ суугаад дээшиг явах нь даа. Раша хөдөлж байгаа. Тиймээс төрүүлж өч мэдэл авах гэж оролцсон. Маш гоё импил газар дарагдчих чиглэлээ. Мативос үргэлжлүүлээ хекссэн. Whisper хайж явж байгаа. Бод фингерчж байгаа юм байна. Syndrome Proven дээрээсээ болоод Underclap-ыг үзүүлж save-ийг алж байгаа.
Is it all of the heroes? Yeah, pretty much everybody. They are going to be able to go through the Twin Gate though, if they want to. I mean, Rosha's in the top, so the buyback comes through from safe. And for a second, I completely forgot the Roshan swaps pits. But this is going to be EG. Yeah, nighttime coming out now, and they are in control of this one. They're going to be able to take it away, and this one's going to be easier for EG to secure. But
Яа Рашана бол
who wants to secure it?
энэ удаа аюулгүй бараг авчиж байгаа юм байна да.
pop the pandas here just to hold
Хайдыг хийсгэсэн байгаа даа.
too fast though.
За SPM бууж орж ирсэн. BKB- гээд орж байгаа шууд таргетлсан батрыг алах гэсэн. Өөрөө юу ч хүүдээ Оркидэн дээрээс амьд үлдэх гээд байна. За GPK сүүлчийнхаа манагаар орж ирээ дуусгачлаа. Дайн онсон. Энэ оронд AIDS болон чийсээ бол авчихсан байгаа даа. Циклонцсон. Буулгаад ирлээ. GPK мана байхгүй. Veining Rift дээрээс silence жагаад алыг гэсэн бодолтой байсан бол Solar Guard нь энэ оронд Sven бүгднгэн зодож аллаа. Sven-ий triple kill Nightfall-оос.
It's going to be into the pop, maybe, but
Waveform-игээд BKB дээрээс Pakaz TP байхгүй байна. Тэгээ одоо л TP-тэй олж байгаа. Оройтсон баха.
Silver Edge for that extra damage. He's going to try and take the Sven's form for that Stormhammer coming through. I don't think he's going to be able to survive through this one. Does he get the TP? Anything to cancel this one? The Hex will cancel the TP out, and all of a sudden...
Тэгээ Kn1Fe-ийн жигсэн алснаар kill нэрцээ. 20-16 олж олдож байгаа юм байна.
Betboom, they win this fight. They win a... That was a full 5-man. It was 6-man, right? Because he got the Aegis as well. Yeah, the buyback being forced out from the Lion and Betboom. I think they got the buyback from the Keeper of the Light, but apart from that, that was clean there for Betboom.
Yeah, we can rewatch the fight here.
And
Definitely like Sven.
бид нь replay үзүүлж байна.
All with the cleave. That was so much damage. I wonder if I think that was a blinding light that put everyone together. Yeah, Kn1Fe was just hiding in the trees, waiting for the right moment.
Yeah, you can see that the Dawnbreaker tries to get away, and yeah, the Illuminate comes through. It was the Stormhammer connects, and yeah, you've got that dragging, the damage just coming through on that. And like you say, there was no way for them to get out of it. And clean fight there for Betboom, and they're even going to be pushing onto the team.
За мартлыг байхгүй тайминг. PKB-г дарж байгаа шууд хасхныг хийх боломжтой. Алсан Brewmaster-ыг алчж байгаа. Үнэл buyback байхгүй байна Brewmaster дээр.
Betboom are going to break the base.
Wow, Kn1Fe. That MKB was really the answer. Even through the Dawnbreaker OT with Ags, he dealt so much damage. He didn't miss a single hit, and it's just not being kited as much as EG probably wants.
No. And that was one good fight, turns the tide here for Betboom. They're able to take a high ground. They take the tier 2 tower in the mid as well. Probably goes towards this tier 2 tower in the bottom. And, you know, EG, the swing, oh, that is a big swing on all three fronts there. 87% on the win probability here for Betboom. So I'm not going to be counting my chickens before they hatch, but it's looking, that fight really did swing things for Betboom. Oh, because Lincoln gets broken. They'll be able to get the waveform away though.
Yeah, those sites of Vice that they were able to acquire, definitely making the fights really hard. You have one on Phoenix, one on Tide. I think
Yeah, kill нэрцээ.
very close to his as well.
21-16 таагаад байгаа. 12K network-ны илүү Betboom дод хүртэл байгаа. Хамгийн чухал нь дээдлийг нь цөмөлдсөн гэсэн том давуу талтай.
And with this eggs on Storm Spirit, the control is
Энэ орнд GPK агнинтэй болсон. PKB-н биелэн. За ер нь бол Betboom-ийнхэн дахин байлтахад ямар ч асуудалгүй болцсон байгаа даа. Бүх баатруудынх нь ultimate skill.
Really pulling up their weight. The itemization on Betboom, the difference.
Yeah, and we'll see just how they're going to be able to push through on this one. You can see that the shards are starting to stack up from pretty much...
Ай батгүй та. Hello.
Has that axe, so he's going to be able to get the jump in vortex, the group vortex for the dragon. And maybe if you get a great...
Харин Fury-аар ингэ шилдээл тоглоод байгаа.
Sven's just come along. Again, we get a repeat of the fight.
За юу ч гэсэн Hex-тэй болсон. Hex-ч байгаа Ravage-тай тоглолтыг л гүйцэтгэх боломжтой болсон. Эндээс Tormentor-ыг авна гэндээ. Энэ удаагийн shard нь Storm Spirit-дээр очино. GPK гэснээр бол shard-тай болж байгаа юм байна.
On the side of Betboom now, alongside that Aghanim Scepter on the Storm. You can't really
За нөгөө талаас Pakaz тэнд Tormentor соол авчижаа.
try and take this.
Мэдээллийг нь авцсан да сайн. Save Glimmer Cape-тэй Link гаргасан.
They're going to try and go the BKB.
BKB TP зодод ална гэж байна. Ух!
Was there, but the TP completes in time here.
Kn1Fe ямар амар ууртай байна ч одоо. Нөгөө талаас 3 баатар электрик vortex нэрээс бариад авсан. Дахиад өндөг задрах боломжтой гэсэн чи задарсангүй. GPK эндээс гараа авчиж байгаа юм байна.
Just has the BKB TP out of that one.
Betboom-ийнх өстө галзуурч шүү. Газар юу ч гэсэн Jam-ыг нь унгаацсан.
I mean, the
Phoenix-с Jam-ыг нь авчлаа.
the stun didn't last long enough, and the egg gets broken. The supernova gets popped, and otherwise, maybe the Storm Spirit gets a couple of kills from that.
Save side гэдэг яагаад Hex-цэнгүү?
Decent advantage here for Betboom. They have all
High kick heat band. Cast range холдуулсан. Force-тэй Hex-тэй үжиж Hex-цэнгүү дээ.
They have 2 refreshers. No, that's a gem actually. Only 1 refresher on this Sven. So even that cooldown of the God Strength a little bit harder for EG to abuse.
Okay, let's take a look at how they're going to try and play around this. With the Phoenix being down, EG, do they want to try and force something out? They are grouped up. 3 heroes are grouped up at least. And you do, again, have the Solar Guardian coming in. But it looks like Betboom, they're the one that want to try and make a move here. Jump comes through. GPK just going to clean up this mid lane set of creeps. So
Yeah, one thing that they have going for EG is that they don't really have any nullifier heroes on the side of Betboom, so Sismail, his Aeon disc, definitely allowing him to stay alive through these fights. But
Сясвэн 3K арай дэмэж үзүүлсэн байгаа юм биш.
no Dagon, there's no.
Бас энтрий зоосон Бакацыг мэдсэндээ өгнө.
yeah, that was cute. It was close.
Гарустай ороод ирсэн хексцсэн байгаад байгаа. Солергорд нь хамаа байхгүй. Ревит задлах боломжтой гэсэн чинь яа Кракен шилэн орсонгүй юултүүлээд гаргаад ирсэн байгаад байгаа. Нөгөө талаас рефреш дарж байгаа байлтыг гэсэн бодолтой. Дахиад нэг BKB, дахиад нэг God Strange. Эргэж яраа Станан кихт нь бол гараа авчиж байгаа юм байна.
It was a good jump. And forced out a few spells. Can they get this counter puck? Smile back on the high ground though. Pure, does he want to get the blinking onto the Ravage? Doesn't want to go in blind on the high ground.
Yeah, this is problematic. Nightfall refresh his BKB, so even though he has ulti, will be forced to chill for a minute here. I wonder if EG wants to try and use this timing for a play themselves. They, I think some of their Aeon disc got popped, but still they have most of their cooldowns.
Yeah, and we'll see again just if they want to try and force something out. 5 seconds on the ult for the Keeper of the Light. Yeah, it's not longer cooldowns for EG. They are going to have them back up soon, but there is a brief window here, and it doesn't look like Betboom want to try and take advantage of that.
Yeah, that refresher on Sven is quite scary, but once it's used, it's a big timer.
Yes, he's my.
Seconds here until he
Power нь бол хейстиг бол өөртөө авлаа.
has two ultis to work with.
And Nightfall.
Refresh on Tide as well.
Oh, that is going to be big in these fights. If they can get like a 3-4-man Vortex into the double Ravage, that's what top of my head doing massive, about 10-12 seconds control that can come through. And, you know, in 12 seconds...
Ярагалтын 42 дахь минут. Одоо лейт гейм болцсон.
Can delete like 5.
Дайны King яаж гоё эхлүүлэх вэ гэдэг нь л хамгийн чухал
To do that.
болчихсон байгаад байгаа да.
Getting those spells and whether the Aeon discs are going to be a big problem for them. As we said, no dispels, aggressive dispels on their team so far. But maybe, were you with me on the Kotl Nullifier game, or was that someone else? I think that was a different tournament. I did see a Nullifier on Kotl, and you know, Kotl Abyssal Kotl Basher is a thing. Nullifier apparently can happen.
Yeah, no, that it's not something that's ringing a bell that I remember. Maybe we'd see it here anyway, but yeah, I mean, the Keeper of the Light, just going for those weird items, it goes hand in hand with Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, the cast range on the ult is so good that a lot of those active spells and items can definitely make an impact as they're scouting for Roshan, but it's going to be a giga long one. Will be a dire Roshan. Definitely need every help they can get.
Айгуу ч юм уу. Битгүн да.
Relatively minor. The momentum is all inside of that. Just refresh the type of devices. Fighting really hard. Honestly,
За Брум мастер эйн дисктэй болцсон байгаад байгаа ууг нь.
they need to
Эйн диск нь ажиллахгүй өгөх магадaltaй. Nullifier дарж ягаад Chain-стай хийж боломжтой байгаа. Дахиад хэгсцэн хилээд баг. За эндээс амжичлаа. Цагт өтийг нь даруулчаад алчиж болно гэж үзэж байгаа юм болоо да. Nightfall юу ч гэсэн цагсан, эйн диск задарсан, эргэж хараад өөрөг нь ивэлцэн буугаад ирж байгаа юм байна. Эндээс Ravage орж ирсэн. Дахиад Ravage хийх боломжтой. Хоёр дахь Ravage орж ирлээ. Юу ч хийхгүйгээр алчиж байгаа 3 корн унсан. За энэ гейм ерөнхий нэлээд жигдэрсэн баха.
They used a lot of cooldowns though. Both Ravages. There's buybacks on EG. They have to fight now. It's that or they're gonna get Mega. They really need to find an opening.
God Strength comes out. That's a refresher here for the Sven, so he's going to have that extra BKB. God Strength, like I say, already been popped here. It looks like, are they just going to go for Megas? It looks like they're pushing in the base. Yeah, they want to take out Megas here. You've already got that hammer coming down. Morphlin does buy back. Are they going to try and fight this one, though?
Авар 3-ыг нь авцсан. Нөгөө талаас Morphling-ээс бол ууг нь buyback орж ирлээ. Юулдэд кайтлах гэж оролцсон Storm Spirit орж ирээд line-ыг алж эхлэн гэсэн бодолтой. Дахиад төрхөн зурын анхаарал татсан үйлдэл дээрээс Rax-ыг нь авснаар Mega Creeps бол дуугарж байгаа юм байна.
Yeah, now with Megas, they don't have the map control to really try and attempt the Roshan.
Yeah.
Because all of those cooldowns were used inside of Betboom. They're just gonna have to defend the base. Oh, this is a big blunder. EG, at least financially wise, they were recovering. And now, yeah, Betboom, their team fight, their items just make it almost impossible for EG to do much. They even sacrificed the Dawnbreaker beautifully there. I think that was nice, but then with Pakas dying, things got way out of hand.
And look at this, you've got the Dawnbreaker just trying to get the D1 out here. Picard's trying to do what he can to just get himself around this fight, not be seen out. Whisper doesn't have the split up just yet on the Panda, but it looks like they want to go for a little bit more here. So Roshan is back. Refresh shot now as well. Picard's
Мега крипстэй болцсон. Рашан дөрцөн байгаад байгаа вейв форм дээрээс хасахныг хийцэн. Котлыг алж чадлаа. Котлоос байбек орж ирж байгаа. Яй! Спиритэд орж байгаад өөрийнхөө энэ дискийг өөрөө бодлуулчлаа да. Нөгөө талаас Dawnbreaker өлтийцсэн. GPK-гийн мэдээллийг аваад шууд GPK-гийн BK бин дээр нь Pierce үзүүлж гаргаж байна. Panda эндээс үхэн.
That's a dieback on the keeping alight, but they've already lost 2 heroes here. Jump in, Lincoln gets broken. Hex comes out onto the Morphling. Can they go for any more of this? What's that Stormhammer? Well, it's going to be the Yulsat to come out onto the Sven, but they've got the Drag Battle Vortex here, and the Hurricane, the Harpoon comes in, and they delete the Morphling. I wouldn't be surprised just to see them rush down, try and take tier 4s here, because the tier 4s...
За дууссан баха. Зарлсан. Энэ гейм үгээр дуусж байгаа юм байна, guys. За үгээр тоглолтын тооны харьцаа айдал нэг болж манай өнөөдрийн 2 дахь цуврал бол тэнцэж байгаа байна шүү.
I mean, they're celebrating, they're out of the chairs, yeah, they're happy, but the pause just delayed it a little bit, and yeah, Betboom, they looked really good after that fight, and it, you know, it's just a
Yeah, guys. Тоотгүй 3 дахь цувралаараа уулзцгаая. Энэ стримерээ 3 дахь цувралаараа уулзъя тэхүү. Та төрхөн зур энийг үзчих. И хальт басаад юм хийгээд.
Even against the Morphling that's supposed to have a lot of armor, that's supposed to be able to tank through this Sven, he felt like a baby. That Sven was just mashing everyone down. They got tons of fights where 2-3 heroes were stacked together and the Cleave did its magic. Nightfall played nicely. But to me, the MVP this game is really the supports. I think both the Phoenix and the Koto, Save and Tokyo, they had a huge impact in turning this around, itemizing properly, and getting all of those pickoffs.
Yeah, and I think Jenkins is going to take a winner's interview here as well, so we'll be able to jump over to him and see what Betboom just have to... I assume it's going to be Betboom. I think it's the second game winner that gets interviewed, but maybe he gets a player from both of them, and we'll find out what they think. Oh, it's just going to be another few seconds before we get these interviews. You can see the players are packing up as well, so they're just making sure they've got the mice and keyboard packed away, so they can, you know, they can do the interview and then they can go and take a dip in the pool, get a couple of drinks in there as well. So should be, there we go. Out from Jenkins and Kn1Fe as they get through the players. But Bowie, any final thoughts on this game, you know, on this series as a whole, actually?
Well, I mean, I'm just happy that some players already have their sunglasses on, so they're going to be able to enjoy the pool. They're going to be able to enjoy the rest of the day after a win. I think the results of this match is pretty much what I expected. I definitely feel like Betboom, they are an incredible team, and they should be able to take games out of EG. It was really close, but yeah, they made it. That Storm, I think for the teams that are going to play them in the future, you probably need to address the Storm a little bit more than they did in this game. I definitely felt like as the game developed, the Storm could just kill that puck over and over again.
Yeah, it was a really good way to play. I mean, we've seen the Storm have a lot of impact and a little impact, so it does feel like it's a bust or boom hero to come through, and this time, you know, it did really pay off. So do you think it is that first phase ban worthy of the Storm Spirit, or is it just one of those heroes that you maybe let through until the second phase?
Yeah, it's probably a hero. I mean, some teams are gonna first pick it, right? We saw, we saw that hero being picked by Kn1Fe quite early into the draft. But overall, I think it's a second phase type of hero, or a hero that you pick in the first phase if you see the enemy mid laner, right? First pick Pango, maybe you can respond with a storm and stuff like that. But overall, the hero looks quite strong, especially if you can add the Kotl on top of it. Even Nigma, right? First pick. No, it was Secret that played Sumeo Storm. They first picked the Kotl into the Storm later. The hero is very, very powerful. The mobility is always going to be annoying for some heroes to deal with here, but yeah, that Matthew still, even though they lost, I think that, you know, that by itself is a win. You feel quite happy as a support player. Hard to have that much impact, you know, playing support.
Yeah, he gets to live off that for like the next 5 years. You know, one time I jumped in, I stole Roshan, and then I stole the Aegis.
Got the cheeses. Well, everyone tipped me. My entire team. They all thought I was awesome. Yeah, Matthew. Yeah, he's such a good player. He should just stop changing nicknames, you know. He definitely had a couple of different ones, but amazing game here from Betboom. This is game number 2. I think that Phoenix, we see why this hero gets banned so often. Even though the egg was killed a fair amount of times because of the Morphling, just the Sun Ray in some of the fights made sure that the damage on EG was lacking, right? Brewmaster, he's known for being annoying, for distracting, but not really the damage, like the DPS he brings to a fight. So at the end of the day, it was mostly Pakaz doing the right-clicking, which turned out to be a problem for them.
Yeah, and that Vortex there on the Storm Spirit, we saw it, you know, it turned the game, just allows it, because it was a multi-man Vortex, just allows the Sven to cleave everyone down. And after that, it just felt like EG couldn't get back on their feet, you know. Every time a fight happened, it was at least, you know, 2 or 3 pickups going away with Betboom. And yeah, every time they tried to sacrifice, like, either the Dawnbreaker here or maybe the Lion to help someone else get away, there was just more and more pickups coming through. This was a great Ravage, and the puck being caught on just the end of it as well, being bounced around, just allowed them to get another 3 pickups from that fight.
Yeah, some amazing fights happening all over the place. The Dawnbreaker OT definitely got handled by the MKB. Not an item you want to buy on Sven, but you could see how Nightfall hard countered the Dawnbreaker. Definitely felt like later on, Matthew was not finding the impact he wanted. Like, even some of those BKB pre-scene stuns, you know, they were nice, but they were just not enough. The lack of damage definitely ended up showing here.
Yeah, and it's, if we take a look at the team comparisons coming through, you can see that Toronto Tokyo won 6-21, but I don't think that's you know, just looking at the kills and deaths, a fair assessment of how impactful he was in this game.
Yeah. Honestly, I want to see the save MVP. I know we're going to get a Nightfall one. I feel like that Kotl... Dude, so many fights where he was pushing away Whisper with the Blinding Light. A lot of wasted Primal Splits from Whisper. Usually, this is a player that you don't see him, like, wasting his time or not, like, participating in a fight and not contributing. I think this game was not his best performance, and a lot of that comes to save and the way he was able to navigate some of those fights.
Yeah, I think Pure as well, again, from the offlaners, just the offlaner union. He had a really good time in the lane, didn't really ever get too pressured. He just got on with it. You know, he got that Meteor Hammer, was able to get himself through, just put the pressure onto the lane, and never really felt panicked on that Tidehunter. You know, he did his job and he got on with it. And maybe if it was me, maybe I would be giving that over to the Tidehunter, the MVP. But I think if we can take a look at the actual MVP, it's going to be Toronto Tokyo. They give it to the Phoenix.
All right. Yeah, support. Definitely think both of them had awesome impact with the Sun Rays, with the Side of Vice. I think it was the first support to get it. Later, Safeguard one as well. And it totally turned the fights around. They were breaking Linkenses and it just making it impossible for anyone to jump without popping BKB. And once they did it, like, the fight was over. There was nothing the, you know, Pakaz could do anymore.
Yeah, and I'm just a little bit surprised that it wasn't given to the mid laner again. That's, you know, my shock for this. But yeah, Toronto Tokyo thoroughly deserved it. The impact that he had in this game. You say that 1 kill, but 81% kill participation. So he had a really good game and, you know, really set up for the rest of the team to be successful. And like you say, the early hacks coming out, just having that control. It was just a great setup, and Betboom, they were able to take the second game in. I think it was a close game, but that one fight turned it around, and all of a sudden Betboom were back in it, and everyone pulled their weight in that game, it seemed like.
Yeah, for sure. Great showing here from Betboom. They're going to be chilling now. Hopefully, next series is going to start quite soon.
Yeah, and speaking about chilling, that is going to be it for me and Bowie. So we'll be back in a couple of days or I'll be back in a couple of days for more Dota action, but there is still 2 more series to come, so stick around on the stream and we'll get those series coming. But first, we're going to jump to a break. I'll see you whenever I'm back.
Всех, кто собрался под крышей Betboom Дачи, объединяют эмоции. Первые пики драфта и обсуждение стратегии или напряженные схватки под вражеским троном. Рвение к победе и радость, которую мы разделяемся вместе, вознося Кубок Чемпионов над ареной.
Ну, будет тяжелая битва.
8 команд и $250 тысяч. 7 дней и десятки кат, которые войдут в историю Доты. Моменты, когда эмоции переполняют нас. Минуты в кругу друзей, обсуждение хайлайтов или анализ прошедших матчей. Все это объединяет нас. Нас объединяет игра.
Welcome back on into the stream, ladies and gentlemen, for the continuation here of the Betboom Dacha tournament. I am Bluescale, joined by Wingblade, and we are here to provide you the streams for the last two series of the day. How are you feeling today, Wingblade?
I'm feeling pretty damn good. It's hot outside, but I managed to get a block of cheese in one of my games for the first time, which was really fun. So I'm just a bit more excited about Dota than I usually am.
Yeah, you know, I'm always excited about Dota when I get cheese as well. It seems to be a very magic combo. But yeah, the two series we got covered are going to be pretty damn exciting ones. Obviously, the first one up is going to be Beast Coast versus Gaming Gladiator. It's going to be a real clash of two Titan teams right now. I mean, I feel like people would generally be favouring Gaming Gladiators going into this series, but do you think there could be any sort of crazy upsets there?
Of course, you never know with a team like Beast Coast. But I think it's fair to say that GG are probably the favorites, you know, as one of the few NA teams in this tournament.
Yeah, everyone knows how much they favour NA teams, right? They've always been top dogs. But yeah, these guys have been doing very great. Obviously as well, they both won their first series yesterday 2-0, so already off to an absolutely fantastic start right now. If I think either one of these teams takes the series 2-0 again, they're nearly guaranteed, I believe, to go into the upper bracket. So a very important series indeed. Obviously, 1-1 is still going to be really, really nicely for them. They'll be tying for first place, and all sorts of shenanigans can happen going into those last series. Yeah, we got a match video of these two teams doing some fantastic poses. So let's have a look. So that looks like a really nice car, man. I wish I was in that. I wish I just had that. Oh, why don't I have more money, Wingblade? Why?
Feels bad, man. How many of the players do you think actually have a driver's license? Are they just posing in the car and then they go home by bus, or?
I think probably, maybe quite a few. I mean, you don't need to drive anywhere when you're playing Dota 2, right? You just venture out of your room every now and then, look in the fridge for a snack or something, but that's about it. No need to drive absolutely anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I reckon they have the mechanical skill though to drive just fine. Just didn't bother yet.
Yeah. Imagine being able to be good enough to play professional Dota 2, but you're not able to drive a car. That would be that'd be a bit of a whoops. Not good.
Sure. But yeah, it is definitely a nice car, and I love these kinds of videos. They just add a bit of character to the teams.
Yeah, always love the shots as well. Like everyone chilling by the pool, getting a load of cocktails and stuff. Everyone getting hammered. It does make me wish I was there for sure. But you know, we'll see what maybe other videos we get to appear in the future. But obviously, let's talk about this series coming on up right now. I feel like both these teams have been playing relatively standard heroes in this current meta. I feel like the only one that's kind of wacky and out there is this Mars that keeps appearing on Beast Coast, but I feel like that's more because it's a South American hero, right, more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a South American hero, and also I think one of the biggest Kn1Fe heroes for Beast Coast. I also like that Bristle is being picked these days. It's a hero that has been quite irrelevant for I want to say years now. And just to see some of these heroes like the Sven and the Bristle and the PA and even the Gyro come back into the meta is quite refreshing, even though they're quite a tier above some of the other heroes, which isn't a great sign balance-wise, but just seeing some different heroes is always fun.
Yeah, definitely. As you mentioned the Gyro, it's pretty much always banned or picked every single game. It's just going to be happening that for a while until maybe it gets nerfed a little bit. The Bristleback as well, most teams have been ignoring that in the most part. Like, there's not really been many bans or picks going towards it. We did actually see one yesterday, and it destroyed, but mainly that was because it was up against 5 melee heroes and a position for Terrorblade, which did not work, thankfully.
Yeah, the question is if that was a victory because of the Bristle or because of 9 Pandas doing some crazy drafts, and I feel like we both know what the answer is.
Yeah, so when that was happening with Tomo, we were both very, very glad that the TB lost, because you just know it would have been in every single pubs if it somehow did well and won. So yeah, it's the very few times you'll ever see casters be that biased for a team. It's like, please lose, please lose. But yeah, looking at this Gaming Gladiator squad, obviously these guys have had a real fantastic year, just smashing every single tournament. Whatever comes their way, they are just beating people left, right, and center. Do you feel like there's any particular star player on this squad, or is it just all 5 of these guys being absolutely insane?
I feel like for GG it's really hard to say. Because they obviously just have a really stable backline with their supports, and you have Tofu making plays, but at the same time, I feel like there have been games where every single one of their core players has been the star. So I wouldn't say that GG has a particular star player. It rotates depending on the picks, which I feel like is one of the big strengths of GG. They have a really, I don't know, flexible playstyle, I suppose. If you leave one of these guys alone, they're just gonna run away with the game.
Yeah, that's very true. Like you mentioned, that is probably a big key to their success. Like, many teams always rely on that 4 protect 1 kind of strategy. You know, it's like their carry is the person that has to do all the work in the later parts of the game. Everyone else is there just to delay it. But definitely on the side of gaming, any one of these guys could be the star player at any point. So there's just lots of things for the other teams to look out for, and obviously Beast Coast are going to be the next people going up against them. And it just depends whether if they've maybe figured out how to deal with this strong recipe that Gaming Gladiators have been dishing out every single game.
Yeah, it's a tough challenge. I feel like for Beast Coast, they're maybe a bit more predictable in what they want to do in the game.
By the
they
way,
just want
in
to get
case you
farm.
guys are wondering.
I was kind of hoping you wouldn't come out of that elevator. Do you guys see that elevator?
You can pan the camera over there.
Pan the camera. Right there.
There
wow.
it is. Yo, shouts to this guy.
All right.
He's not. Doesn't want to be filmed.
All right, Jenkins. Good try.
Should we,
next time.
the teams?
Yes, let's do that. We'll come out of the elevator next time. But let's bring in our first team, our favorite South American team, Beast Coast. Yeah.
Our favorite. Relax, dude. I mean, I really do like these guys. Beast Coast. Yeah, Beast Coast.
Come on.
Parker, come down the
Parker,
goddamn
I
stairs.
see you. Parker, I see you. Parker, I can literally see you.
You're the new guy. That's why you have to go first. My man runs first at every team fight, and he won't come down the stairs first.
All right, all right. Welcome, welcome. Line up nicely.
There they are.
Whisper, looking great, looking great.
Dark Mago,
Sacred, looking great. Come on.
Yep.
Line up. We're missing somebody.
What is going on? Schofield, he's always out on some other side of the map, just making space.
Come on, come on.
That's what he's doing.
Hurry it up, hurry it up.
Schofield, right here. Right here.
All right, Beast Coast. Please take a seat.
Great job, guys. Go ahead, sit down.
That was great. That was very organized.
Yep.
It's a sign of what's to come today. You want to bring in the next team, Jenkins?
We're gonna watch Beast Coast sit down, see if there's anything interesting that we can see. Nope, just computers. But we're gonna keep looking anyway, as of course we can see.
Of course.
The 2 Beast Coast coaches walking in. That'd be Raykill and Mariano. He's going to be on the... There he is.
There he is.
Tallest man in the South American region.
He was also whooping them at basketball earlier. Actually,
I don't want to talk about
that.
They
were all
let's
killing
go ahead and not talk about that because we have Gaming Gladiators ready to walk down the stairs. Go ahead.
Down the stairs.
Yep. Duraccio.
Right on time.
Oh,
Hello,
those are nice
Duraccio.
Crocs.
He's got some really nice Crocs on. Hello Kitty? Are
What's
those
up,
Hello
Quinn?
Kitty Crocs?
Tofu, Ace, Celery. You're all
Almost.
looking very energetic today. Some great energy.
Do a pose. Do an anime
Yeah,
pose.
do a cool pose.
Yeah. You guys suck.
Can you guys
Quinn.
just?
I don't know. Like that. There we go. There we go. Yeah,
All
that's
right,
a good one.
awesome. Thank you, Tofu.
You guys can
Take a seat,
go ahead and
please.
sit.
That was only slightly less awkward
Those
than
guys
the
won
last one.
3 majors.
They did win 3
They
majors.
won 3 majors. They
Hello.
can't. They don't know what anime poses. They're too busy winning Dota to watch
There were a
JoJo's
couple.
Bizarre Adventure.
There were a couple of anime poses though.
There
But
was.
yeah, now that the awkward part of this, just kidding, folks, we're not done with the awkward part. There is more to come because we have to bring out the tributes.
The tributes, of course, ladies and gentlemen, are for a very specific reason, a very specific purpose here, and that's for the coin flip to decide who gets Radiant and Dire. First pick, second pick, whatever. I just assume Radiant or Dire. We can summon a tribute, of course, from Beast Coast, who look like they're deliberating something.
They are speaking right now, but I'm just going to yell at them. Beast Coast. They're yelling. They're yelling. Let's get
I don't know
the
what
game
they're
in
yelling
tribute
about.
first.
We don't speak Spanish, so we'll get a game in tribute. It's Duraccio, Big
Yes.
D.
Okay.
He's
Guys,
going to
we
the
need
toilet. Okay,
you
go
to
ahead.
summon a tribute for the
All right,
coin
we
flip.
need another tribute. CY. CY. He says no. He says
Thank
no.
you.
forfeit
Thank you
the
for
coin
coming.
flip if nobody comes. He forfeits.
Are you forfeiting the coin flip?
Okay. He's
You can't
We're
forfeit.
not going to make him forfeit the coin flip. Let's just
You
make
cannot forfeit the coin flip. Somebody get up here now.
just make him do it.
Tofu, I see you.
They're
Tofu.
having technical issues.
Tofu, I see you. Please come flip the coin. Someone has to flip the coin.
Yeah, but he could do it.
CY?
How you
Someone's
doing?
got to flip the coin.
Good. Do it. Do it. He's not doing it.
Just
He's
leave
not
them
doing the
alone
thing.
for now. Let's just flip
I
the
tried
coin.
to encourage it. All right, let's flip the coin.
This
Can
has
he
already
flip the
been.
coin? Are you guys gonna win?
Jenkins, just it's okay.
Go ahead,
So
flip the coin.
here's the coin, folks. We have Betboom for heads and Fisher for tails, and the coin flip's been given to
Okay.
CY. CY, please do the honors.
Catch it. You have to catch it.
You got it. You have to catch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you have to catch it. Otherwise, you guys will lose. He caught it.
No, you have to do it again.
Wait, do it again. Choose heads or tails.
Always.
He said heads. By the way, I wasn't holding the mic in front of him. Fissure
That is tails.
That is tails. I'm sorry, CY. What do you choose, Radiant or Dire?
Ryan.
You can choose first pick or second pick if you want.
No.
Okay, you guys get choice. All right, you guys can go get back to your seats. Beast Coast gets choice. Why did you go on that side? Dracho's back from the toilet. Hope that was good. Hope that was good. And we hope that the panel will somehow make sense of all of this in the next segment.
I can't really make much sense out of that, to be honest. This is too much awkwardness to deal with, man. I could feel it through the camera. It was too much. One thing I'm glad about, though, is that it's the second time I've seen someone catch the coin. At long last, someone's doing it.
Yeah, not bad. Pretty nice gamer moment. Yeah, it's always fun to see professional gamers when they actually have to interact with other people. It reminds you that they're still human after all.
Yeah, and it does make you think that maybe they actually can't drive, because how could they ever sit in a car with an instructor teaching them? You know, they wouldn't be able to handle that at all. It's like they were all allergic of the coin or something. No one on gaming wanted to come up. Like Tofu was like, "Don't look at me, please don't look at me."
Yeah, I remember from my time in the scene as well, wherever there had to be an interview, there would just be like 5 people running away instantly, trying to push each other in front of trains and stuff. Desperate not to have to talk to anyone.
That is very desperate. Well, I suppose if you spend your whole life going behind a computer screen just so you don't have to deal with people and being forced to work. But regardless of that, everyone looked happy, everyone looked like they were eager for a game of Dota 2, or 2 games I should say. That's what we're going to be getting right now. And yeah, it's going to be good. I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm happy, and I'm sure we'll be jumping forward pretty damn soon. Anything you want to sort of talk about these two teams, Wingblade?
I mean, I just want to say that I'm happy too, and it looked like both Jenkins and Effie were also happy. So at least we have 4 happy people from the teams and production combined. So that's nice.
Yeah, it's a happy mansion after all. I was a bit concerned when the elevator opened up and all I saw was like a pair of legs. I was like, is there a dead body in there or something? But apparently it's just someone who does not want to be on camera. No idea what that was about. I feel like, wouldn't it be even better if the teams came out the elevator, like it just opened up and the camera was there and they were like dancing or something? I don't know.
But it would be pretty nice. But I don't expect to see any dead bodies until Team Secret plays and Puppy is around.
That's true. You know, you got to be wearing a helmet. There could be flying keyboards and mice all over the place. So it's definitely a workplace accident sort of zone. It's going to happen quite a lot.
Yeah, no machetes allowed. But in terms of the series, what I really hope to see is maybe some cheese, because in the past season we've seen some meepo from Ace, and I feel like with this new drafting format where it's a lot more lopsided at the start with a lot of bans, there may be more chances to get in those cheesy picks like the meepos, the Huskars. So that's what I personally hope to see. And it's still quite early in the tournament. It's group stages. GG, they already have their first win. They're looking pretty good. And the same for Beast Coast. So I feel like if there is ever a chance to do any kind of cheesy drafting, it's gonna be right now, right here.
Yeah, I'm expecting just to see some real bizarre out there picks. I mean, I always say this, man, but I just want to see a punch. It's not in the meta, nobody plays it, but like you mentioned, if there was a series for cheese, this could be the one.
I feel like any game that has Diracho in it has a chance of punch.
That is very true. But if you guys in the chat want to vote on to see who you think is going to take this series, !B if you think Beast Ghost are going to be able to come out ahead on this series, or !G if you think the Gladiators are going to be the one that come out on top. Like we were talking about earlier, I feel like it is going to be the general lean towards the Gladiators, but we'll see how favored they are. Like, a lot of the times we've seen like 85% one way, 75%, but I feel like maybe this one might be slightly closer.
We'll say it's super close and definitely a 50-50. Because both teams, they have a 100% win rate. So it's like they're just as good, so it's 50-50 for sure. Trust me.
Trust you. There's always strong words. And then when it doesn't go that way, everyone's always a bit upset. But, oh well, it doesn't matter. They're punch out. What can they really do? Yeah, so we will see what the results of that are going to be. Anything else?
Do you have a favorite hero or strategy you want to see here?
Favorite hero or strategy? I mean, just going off like the C patch, there's a few heroes which I'm expecting to start appearing again in the future, which I haven't seen yet. One of them is Spirit Breaker. He actually got buffed quite nicely in the C patch, but still no one's touched on him. Always love to see him running around. And I mentioned this as well yesterday, is the change to Arc Warden as well. You know, the fact that his Tempest double always comes out full HP, full mana, no matter what your stats are. I feel like that can be so clutch in many situations, but still no one's willing to touch it.
Yeah. It seems like quite a big change for a C patch mechanically. But I guess Arc Warden is kind of a scary hero for a lot of players, and not necessarily the classic kind of scary, but more the fact that he's a very mechanical hero, and if you don't play Arc Warden often, you're not gonna do well on him. It's really a specialist hero, so when a hero gets a big buff like this in a C patch out of nowhere, it tends to take a while for these players to just get more comfortable, spam him a while in pubs and then pick him. I feel like if a hero like Morphling or like Sven gets buffed, you can just pick him up, but with Arc Warden it tends to take a little bit longer.
Yeah, definitely more of a niche hero. I don't know if I've ever seen Quinn really play Arc Warden. I don't think that's in his wheelhouse, but how do you feel about on the side of Beast Coast? What do you think? Do they play it?
I mean,
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, I don't really think I've seen Beast Coast play any Arc Warden, if I remember correctly. They played like a few Meepo games, and there is some overlap in terms of micro, but I don't think they are an Arc Warden team, to be honest.
Yeah, like I said, it is quite transferable, the skills between a Meepo and Arc. So, you know, potentially if they feel like the draft is perfect for it, we may very well see him show himself, which I'm always quite happy about. I hate seeing an Arc Warden in my pubs, but in pro play, I'm happy with that. You know, it's entertaining. I'm not the one who has to suffer.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder what a perfect Arc Warden game looks like, though. Because you say when the draft is perfect for it, and I've played quite a bit of Arc Warden, but I can't really think of a situation where Arc Warden would be the ideal hero. Because generally, Arc Warden is very good in games where the enemy team has a low amount of pressure and not a lot of jump. But in that case, you could also just pick up something like a Sniper or a Drow Ranger, and you have the same advantages, but you don't have to play a difficult, strange hero like Arc Warden.
True, but you can get the moments like, well, it's quite a few years ago, can't remember what TI it was, but it was when Miracle 100 to 0'd Roshan with all the Spark Graves. Like, that was pretty cool. You know, you get some moments that will live throughout Dota 2 history forever. There's a chance we could see it.
Sure, yeah. If you wanna secure your legacy, just pick Arc Warden.
Yeah, that's the way forward. Just play Arc every game. But we are starting to see things like Zeus is actually becoming a bit more popular again. He was buffed a little bit in the C patch, and as a result, people are feeling more comfortable picking him up. And he has actually been working quite nicely. So we could very well see him make an appearance in this series to come. I feel like Broodmother has completely fallen off the face of the earth. Like, this hero was spammed a hell of a lot, like, not even that long ago, but you just never see it anymore. The spider is gone.
So, on Zeus, what do people build these days? Because I haven't seen him too much.
First item is always just straight up phylactery. Like, I feel like it's just kind of too important not to get that one. And then I believe it just go either for a fast Ags or a fast Refresher Orb. Because I think we saw it yesterday and that was the build. I think it was phylactery into Lens, and then I think he just went straight up Refresher Orb after that, just to get the double ult down. That's just going off the top of my head though. I could be completely wrong there, who knows.
Might see some right-click Zeus, am I right?
Yes, that could be it. Well, it's like how we're starting to see Lina again, but it's not the old Lina, it's back to spellcasting style. Like, that's how it's been the first few times. I mean, actually, she was picked a few times, like, as soon as the like C-patch came out, and then we've not seen her again since. So I don't know if maybe that was just teams testing it out and they're not interested at actually playing the hero anymore.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because I believe, yeah, she didn't get any changes in the C patch. But I guess some of the items changed maybe, and that was enough. I don't know. I feel like Lina is just gonna remain maybe somewhat of a niche pick against certain mid matchups. Like, I know that Lina is still very good, especially the spellcaster style is very good against Storm Spirit. So if we ever see Storm become like first phase material again, then we could see more Lina as well. Of course, it's very good against heroes like Huskar and Meepo, so we'll see. I feel like there is a place for Lina, but maybe not in the first phase.
Yeah, it has to be right situation, right time. Because there was a long period when it was just first phase hero. If it wasn't banned, take it straight away, but definitely fallen off of that. We hopefully will be into the draft soon, ladies and gentlemen. I think the players are just still having to set up, so hopefully it doesn't take too long. You know, plugging in USBs generally isn't the hardest thing they have to do in a day, but sometimes it does happen. You know, you put it in upside down and you have to flip it, and then it goes, hang on, that's now wrong. You have to flip it again. I don't know how that happens, but it happens to me all the time.
Yeah, they've been just plugging their USBs for like the last 10 minutes and they just can't figure it out.
Too hard. That's why you need professional engineers and technicians to come in and go, look, see, it's this way. And then they can actually get it going.
And of course, these professional players, they have multiple keyboards, you know, because they don't have two hands like the rest of us. Ooh, something's happening.
Alright, so as the coin toss results, obviously we did see Schofield chose. Well, actually, he didn't even choose anything, but it looks like he went back to his team and they did actually decide to go for the first pick.
Ooh.
And now the draft is underway, ladies and gentlemen. You can rest in chat now. Stop flaming. We're going. We're going. Chill out, guys.
All right, let's see. Any surprises here?
Well, first pick, Pangolier coming out there for Beast Coast. Feels pretty strong. Obviously, there is a few good counters in the pool still left against it, but the gyro was not banned. Yeah, and just snapped up. Kind of intrigued that Beast Coast didn't grab that themselves. I guess they just really value this Pangolier.
Are we gonna see the meme where it's like, we don't ban gyro because we can counter it, and then they lose to gyro?
I've seen that far too many times in Dota 2 history. Not great.
But I'm sure they'll bring out the secret lifestealer tech against gyro, right?
Yeah, could see it. We could see it. I mean, they actually, Gaming Gladiators, their first ban of the game was actually against for a Mars, which no other team plays apart from the South American teams where they really do seem to prioritize it. And Gaming Gladiators is customizing the bans towards their actual opponents. And they do take that one away, so Sacred not going to be able to roll with potentially one of his favorite heroes. And it's just quite nice against the gyro in general, you know. It's a fantastic tool dealing with that flat cannon.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mention it too, because not only is Beast Coast one of the only teams playing Mars, they play it both mid as well as offlane, so they have two players playing it.
That's very true. Just an extra bit of flexibility, can get it into all sorts of crazy situations. And follow-up bans there for Beast Coast, Venge and the Treant Protector, just two very solid bans, highly prioritized support throughout the entirety of this patch so far. And there is going to be the Grim picked up for Game Gladiators, just a fantastic hero in general in this patch, plus the fact that it's up against the Pangolier, so you can mess up his role. Just, yeah, too good not to pick up.
Yeah, and really fun to watch too. I really like Grimstroke.
Yeah, since they changed the inks, well, obviously it was a couple of patches ago now, it's just such a strong hero, being able to use your inks well whenever you want to. Are those little Pac-Man ghosts that were on his nails?
Yeah, it looked like it. That's cute.
That is cute. I never was a fan of Pac-Man, to be honest. Not my game.
We're too young.
Not that young. I mean, I don't know. I am that young. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I am that young.
But yeah, Grimstroke obviously very strong with the ability to activate the Inkswell, which is not only very strong offensively, but also defensively once you get the shot, because it applies a strong dispel. So he becomes somewhat of a saving hero. Not, of course, to the same degree as someone like Shadow Demon or Oracle, but still, save is a save.
Yep. It's a purge that also has a heal built into it and an AoE stun. It's pretty damn good. As Beast Coast do decide to go for the Snapfire, we've seen a couple of teams pick the Snap into the Gyro, mainly just to have the little Shredder to deal with the Home and Missile in the laning phase, and later on. Seems to be quite a high prioritized sort of pseudo counter in a way to that. But we'll see what position does end up rolling, as they do also grab a Phoenix right now here.
Yeah, and then the Snap is even better, because Gaming can't pick it for themselves. Snapfire is, of course, one of the premier Phoenix counters.
Yeah, just providing that bit of safety for it. I'm sure they would have loved to have the Mars as well, but yeah, not going to get that this time around. We'll see what Gaming Gladiators they were going to grab up right now for their fourth pick. Any sort of things they've been spamming in all of their other games that they might decide to fall back on. They're still looking to get Quin's hero next. Actually, they do decide to grab the Brewmaster, and in the series they played yesterday, Ace was an absolute demon on this hero. Like, I think his end score was 12, 1, and 15 or something like that. He was top farmed core, beating everybody else by 1.5 miles. He was, yeah, a real monster.
Yeah, Ace loves these kinds of heroes. His Brew is both strong in lane, has micro built in, and and that's like the perfect Ace hero right there.
Ik weg kom ik
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to be able to have as good of a performance on it this time round, you know. Every game is the same. We'll see what they're going to grab up with it. And it's going to be the Nyx Assassin. Obviously, a hero again, which is starting to climb back up in popularity since the early points into Mana Flare, or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah,
Байна.
intelligence
За
mod
хэдүүлээ тэгвэл маргааш уулт идэхгүй ш. Би яг унтаадна. Sorry. Маргаашийн тоглолтуудыг тогтоо үзэх. Баларч.
East Coast is gonna pick up a Sven.
Акра үнэхээр хүрдэг.
Saw in the last series that Sven can be really strong. And there is already plenty of control on Beast Coast. But I feel like it's gonna be quite interesting to see how this Sven is gonna do up against the Brewmaster.
May have to build a relatively early BKB just so he makes sure he doesn't get cycloned up in every damn team fight. Just controls the ends of the earth. So many ways for Game of Gladiators just to try and kite out the Sven so far.
Давайцгаа. Баяртай дараа уулзцгаая.
Once Sven gets a few items and doesn't that BKB, he's actually killing the Brewmaster. If you have like 4 or 5 items and you start cleaving them down, the Brewmaster can be deceptively squishy.
Yeah. Can tear him to pieces. We even saw a Sven yesterday with a Battle Fury, and the cleave was obviously just destroying all the Brewlings at the same time in that game. Obviously, I feel like the Battle Fury was more of a counter because there was a Nature's Prophet in the game. Sprout in general, but who knows? It was funny, and it actually worked.
Yeah.
I
didn't expect necessarily, but it's some cool tech.
It's possible.
Yes.
But yeah, so game of Gladiators here. The Beast Coast obviously looking for their position 3 as the final pick. Meanwhile, Beast Coast taking away the Storm, trying to sort of limit the hero pool here of Quinn. As well, like it's pretty much guaranteed to be for Quinn, right? But I feel like there's a slight chance that Beast Coast could potentially put like the Snap or the Phoenix as a core and maybe grab something else on the last pick.
It would be quite interesting indeed. And Dark Mago is a player that definitely plays Snapfire. Not too often though. It's more of a every once in a while hero as opposed to one of his favorites.
Yeah, I think you'd prefer to play the Mars mid if you could, but
yeah, no doubt about that.
No doubt. Yeah, they actually banned the Clockwork as well, so maybe they are thinking that one of these guys could be the potential core instead. Remains to be seen. Ember Spirit also getting banned there from Beast Coast. This hero has received several nerfs in a row now, and I feel like every single time we've seen Ember in this tournament so far, it's actually lost. So quite interesting that Beast Coast even bothered to ban it. I thought just leave that in the pool and just maybe remove something they're afraid of a bit more, but you know, clearly dropping a bit of respect there towards Quinn's Ember.
Yeah, and it does make sense because looking at their lineup, they have almost no reliable stuns. I guess Stormhammer is the best one, but even Stormhammer can be dodged if you're on top of your game. And aside from that, they have the roll, which with a blink could do something, but mostly it's just gonna be Ember having a free game. So I do understand the ban, even if I don't think Ember is that good right now.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. And we've been seeing a fair amount of mid Earthshaker as well. I don't think I've ever seen Quinn play mid Earthshaker at all, so probably not going to be seeing that. I mean, do you think they might need some way of actually dealing with the Phoenix a bit more? Because so far, all they have to actually hit the egg is the gyro. Everyone else isn't really going to be touching it whatsoever. So, do you think they need to find a tool to kill the egg, or find a way just to run away from it?
I feel like Quinn's heroes are generally the kind of heroes that just shut down and kill Phoenix before getting the egg, as opposed to hitting the egg itself. So I think we're more likely to see something like a Leshrac or Void Spirit or something like that, instead of a hero like Lina that just hits the egg. Would be a really good Huskar game though, if Quinn is in the mood for it. But Beast Coast, they pick up a Tusk. So that's gonna round out their lineup, and most likely gonna be their mids, I wanna say. Actually, never mind. They have a Pango.
Be the Snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably like the 4
Maybe they might still decide to put it mid. All depends on what this final pick from Kn1Fe is going to be. Like, so there are some heroes which Tusk can do really, really well, but in that mid lane against. Still a minute of reserve time to work with those. Plenty of opportunities here for Gaming to think of the correct pick.
They have so much time, but this would really be a beautiful Huskar game. And it's gonna be TA. So, in a way, it's similar to Huskar, where you win lane really hard, you get a few items, you get rogue, and you finish the game. It's maybe a bit less volatile, and if you get behind on a TA, you can actually
толгой хийж иргэж байна. Энэ гэхдээ уг нь Scofield зааж. Scofield Tasker, Jim Park Sven-ийг тоглох. Diamond Gladiator уг нь бол ялах ястай юм биш үү, тийм үү? Хүмүүсийг нь ботсон ч тоглолтыг нь ботсон ч. Эс тофу. Яг хоо энэ тоглолтын дээр нэг шанс гарч ирэл гарч ирэх л гэж бодож байна. Diamond бүр бат ялах баг нь. Юу баг нь. Энэ тоглолтын дээр яг хуу Beast Coast нэг гейм авч магадгүй л. Beast Coast бол өмнөх хэдүүл ер нь бол өмнөх тоглолтуудаа үзсэн ч гэсэн энэ Sven Gyro matchup Sven-д амар гоё давуу талтай юм байлээ. Одоо энэ яг Gyro Brewmaster-ыг нь харсан ч тэр дээрэс нь энэ Scofield-ийн Tasker-ыг харсан ч тэр хожил энэ гейм л ялах гэж бодож чинь. За bye guys. Тэр барахгүй. Мая.
I feel like a lot of this game is just gonna come down to Dirk Margo and the way he moves on the map to try and pressure this TA.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's gonna rely as well on just how well the lanes actually do go for